This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of The Afternoon Show here live on the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network. It is February 3rd, a Monday, and my God, we have so much to talk about. We leave on Friday, we take a weekend off, of course, and we come back and we have a very full show. We're going to be talking about a little bit of everything, of course. Obviously, the big news in the NBA the last couple of days. We're going to be talking also about the Royal Rumble. We all watched it, just at our houses. But Tony and Chris Gonzalez were there live and in person. We'll get their reactions to being there at Lucas Oil Stadium and seeing all the sights and sounds of Royal Rumble and WWE. Of course, we're going to talk a little bit about Jimmy Butler and the ongoing saga with that. Also, Myles Garrett just recently requesting a trade from the Cleveland Browns. And also, at the end, we'll talk a little bit about the Grammys, which were last night. A lot of fun stuff going on there. And a lot of questionable outfit choices. But that much more and so much coming up here in just a minute. But first, let's introduce the cast and crew. Of course, I'm going to be your host and producer, Logan Landers. To my left, to my right, is going to be Frankie Lake Show with his new hashtag of Welcome Luka. We'll get into that in just a second. We got Jay McLovin, our main guy down there. And, of course, Tony and Chris Gonzalez. Guys, how the hell are you? How was your weekends?
Well, I'm still on Facebook jail. Sons of
that is true.
They won't let me share a damn thing.
Apparently, Jay also went to jail this weekend.
I guess you can't share a show 40 or 50 times without being caught a scammer. So yeah, so I got to wait till I'm out of Facebook jail before I can start sharing.
How long, Jay? How long are you in there for?
I don't know, man. They didn't give a date. They just want every time I try to post something, it just says you can't post.
It usually tells you when you can post again.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to get more into it. Right now, it just won't let me post nothing.
We're getting
That's
this
okay,
going.
Though. You know what? You can't keep me down forever, Facebook. I will post again.
Mm-hmm. You know what? We're getting that going. We're getting hashtags rolling. Free Jay, get him out of there.
You know what I'm saying? Is it hard? Is it hard?
Apparently so. Apparently, because this isn't the first time this happened to you either, buddy.
I don't know. I'm just a little pissed off. Mark Zuckerberg said that, quote unquote, we're not going to be censored or anything like that. But apparently I'm still being censored. I don't know. It's weird. I don't get it.
Jay tackling all of the world's big problems, one post at a time, one share at a time. All right. Well, it's the main event. Yeah, we're starting things off, and Frankie, you get the floor for this one. Your team made a move over the weekend. Just one that not a soul saw coming. And you have a brand new star on your team, and Luka Doncic. What was your thoughts when you saw this, my friend? And I'll go into the details once you give your opening speech here.
Yeah, it was really wild. I mean, we just got done watching the Royal Rumble, and to me, this was literally one of the greatest Royal Rumbles that I've seen in recent memory in a long time, honestly. And I'm not just talking about both Royal Rumbles being great, but what a match between both Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. I mean, they absolutely killed it over there in Lucas Oil Stadium. Tony and Chris and Big Boy Glenn over there, they had an absolute monstrous match card on right in front of them. But listen, when Luka Doncic and his news broke out on my phone, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was like in complete shock for about like 20 minutes. Like my jaw dropped, and I'm like, this cannot be real. Like this is absolutely insane. That would be the last thing that will come to my mind, is not just the Lakers getting Luka, but Dallas itself trading away Luka. That's what got to me. Like, I don't care if we traded away AD, that whatever. AD's been traded before, but to trade away a franchise player is absolutely insane. That's like the Boston Celtics trading away Jason Tatum, or the Milwaukee Bucks trading away Giannis Giannis, or even Denver. Or even Denver trading away Jokic. I mean, it was insane to me.
It's one of those trades where you know where you're at when it happened type of deal. You know what I mean? And that doesn't happen very often. Because, look, you understand, like, whenever the only one I can kind of relate it to in recent years was when KD signed with the Warriors. I remember I was in New York at the time, Frank. I was on a vacation. I was walking down the street, and I got the alert. It was on July 4th, I believe, when that happened. And I was, enjoying the sights and sounds. And I said, "Oh my God, Kevin Durant's going to the Warriors." And with Luka, and for the full trade details, by the way, the Lakers picked up Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and also Markieff Morris. So this isn't just one player they picked up. They picked up 3 players. They gave up Anthony Davis, obviously, Max Christie, and the Lakers' 2029 first-round draft pick. Also, the third team in this trade that everyone just kind of forgets about because they were just kind of there for cap space and whatnot. The Utah Jazz, they got Jalen Hood-Schifino, and also a Clippers second-round pick in 25, and also the Mavs 2025 second-round pick. So they got a little bit of draft capital. Also, what's going on, Melvin? Hope you're doing good today, my friend. But
what I liked about this, is it hurts, but it's also great because it shows that our future is gonna be around Luka now, right? LeBron James isn't gonna be there like 2 years max. It's gonna be built around Luka. I don't know why Jay's laughing. He act like the Lakers.
You know damn good well.
You act like
we're gonna get in. Oh, let him finish.
Jay acting like the Lakers can't hold on to Luka. Like, okay.
He's not even gonna let you finish.
I don't care what Jay's gonna do. Jay is right now. He's doing an undercover thing where he's just gonna say what he wants and blabber around because guess what? Luka left a Texas team. That's why Luka left the shitty state of Texas. That's why. That's why.
No, don't mess with Texas. Horns down.
But on the bright side of this, it really didn't cost much to get Luka. It didn't cost much to get Luka, right? We traded away AD. Who everybody, by the way, Jay, including you, everybody likes to say AD's made out of glass, right?
He's been healthy since last year.
Now they're like, oh, wow, they traded away AD. They got rid of their defense. Yes, of course they got rid of their defense. That's the part that hurts me is the defensive part. But what the trade deadline isn't done yet. It's not done. He said we can't go out there and get a Miles Turner, right, Chris?
Still got 5 days.
I'm sorry.
What's supposed to offer?
Not on injury. Is AD out on injury? Chris, could you please Google that real quick?
AD is out on injury.
AD out on injury.
He is out on injury right now.
I think he is. I think he tore his little belly button muscle, the little belly button. Oh, yeah, I think he's hurt.
Why are you saying that? Why are you saying that like I'm going to say something? Why are you saying that like I'm saying something? He's not a Laker no more, Jay. I don't give a shit if he's hurt. He's not a Laker.
He said,
but is he
move
hurt?
on.
I just think he's hurt.
He is hurt.
No.
AD is hurt. Why are you making
In Davis's defense, like Logan said, he hasn't been hurt for
about a year or so. He's been
about a year. And this, to me, this isn't hurt. He has a little injury. He
nagging injury. This isn't a pulled muscle.
Yeah, he's gonna be back in probably like a week or so.
Who is hurt? Who hasn't been around since Christmas?
Yeah, and he's coming back next on the 8th.
Oh, sure he is.
He's coming back on the 8th.
I'm sure he is.
Luka's coming back on the 8th.
And
you sound pissed, Jay.
Melvin said he wore his
jealous,
AD jersey
Jay.
more than AD wore it.
Man, look, let me just say this, man.
What's up?
The man, it's interesting to me. Okay, it's interesting to me. So, and I don't blame Luka, right? Look, it was secrecy. We didn't tell nobody. It just came out of nowhere, right? Behind the scenes talkings.
Luka the Mavs initiated this.
He thanked the community. He thanked everybody except the Mavericks. He did not thank the Mavericks. Sasha, Doncic, his father came out, and now he's saying that the Mavs are hypocritical and the fact that they kept it enshrouded in secrecy. Mm-hmm. And this is not the way you treat your franchise guy. So Sasha's a little pissed. Sasha goes on to say, the Lakers, or I should say the Mavericks go out and say basically that he's got conditioning problems. He's got a crappy lackadaisical diet, that he can't play defense, which we all know is true. He lacks durability, which obviously he hasn't played since Christmas. And, obviously that. Now, I will say in his defense, and Sasha also pointed out in his defense, and I think this is where the hypocrisy that Sasha is saying. Sasha is saying, look, how are you going to tell me that he has a lack of conditioning? How are you going to tell me he's got a bad diet when the man literally gave you last year 70 games at 37.5 points with 3 guys all on top of him that he's having to fight through. Plus, he gave you 22 postseason games at 40.9 minutes. So I do want to give, and I do want to be very correct when I say that he was durable. He did play a lot. But I also know that the Mavericks are correct. Why am I not going to give a big $300 million contract when a guy hasn't played since Christmas and he has had injury problems in the past? It's not like he hasn't had injury problems. And also, the man can't play a lick of defense. Now, to Anthony Davis, which we know is a minor boo-boo compared to what Luka went through, actually does give him a defender. I'm sorry. I think over the long run, I think Luka is the weaker of the two. And I think, Frankie, we also know 2 things. We know that Bron loves to have the ball. We also know that Luka loves to have the ball. And like Barkley said, how are you going to manage both of those guys that both need the ball? I don't think this is going to work out like you said, because I will tell you this. You can put every superstar on your team, but if you don't have the chemistry, if those guys don't get what they need to be successful, sometimes it doesn't always pan out. Kevin Durant with the Suns hasn't panned out. That's one example of that. So just be careful what you wish for, Frankie. Careful.
Hold on, Logan. Hold on.
Go ahead. Let me get these 2. Hold on.
For one, Jay, the last person you should be listening to is Charles Barkley. That's the last person in the NBA world you should be listening to.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Hold on. You said that's the last person, but it's what he said true.
Second of all,
those guys need the ball.
Second of all, can you do me the favor? You're talking about LeBron he wants the ball, Luka wants the ball. Can you tell me their assist?
Yeah, I believe they're right at. I believe he is right at 5%. Now I understand that Bron does give a lot of assists, but you can't tell me that Bron doesn't need the ball. You can't tell me that Bron doesn't want to be next to another amazing superstar like Luka. You can't tell me they're going to vibe. You can't tell me
that now that he has Luka on the team, he'd rather say, "Hey, yo, Luka, take this shot rather than me." You think he's going to do that? Of course he's going to do that.
At the expense of him not getting his 40 points, and you know how many points he has to. Let me ask you this: What is Bron's
LeBron don't give a shit about scoring 40 points.
Field goal percentage? And I don't know that by
I can look. Hold on.
I don't know, but what is Bron's field goal percent? Is it above 50? It may be above 50. Again,
let me see.
Know, I'm asking.
Yeah, 51.2. It's 30.
51.
It's 30. It's 31st in the league. He's also 4th in the league in assists per game, Frankie, by the way.
Hey, what is Lucas? Can you give me Lucas also assists and his field goal percentage? I'm just curious. Not that I'm trying to point that out as a point.
No. You're good. Hold on. Give me just
his field goal percentage, if I remember correctly, is like 47%.
It's 46.4, which is 72nd in the league. He averages 21 points and 7.8 assists.
Okay, one of the stat real quick, if you don't mind. Mm-hmm. And on both players, can you tell me how many shots Bron is averaging a game and how many Luka's averaging a game? Just that one stat.
Okay, so
when we signed up to do all Jay's research,
I don't know, man. So, ESPN is
I'm sorry, my bad.
This is how ESPN kind of like tracks it, I guess. So for field goals for Luka this year, it says anywhere between 9.8 and 21.2. Okay, so remember that. And for LeBron, give me just a minute.
He's not. I'm sorry. You said he shoots 9 out of 22.
It's like anywhere from 9 to 22 shots a night, basically.
Okay, I got you.
And for LeBron's, it's like 9 to 18.
My bad.
We got small animal difficulties at the Gonzo house.
It keeps moving my camera.
So they're each averaging, Jay, I don't know, 30 some odd, 40 some odd shots combined between the two, give or take. Yeah.
He's pulling. You see?
I thought we were boys, man. Damn.
You see, he's learning from Charles Barkley. That's what it is. He brought Charles Barkley.
I am actually hurt. I am very, very hurt.
By
Jonathan Holloway's comment. Johnny, you broke my heart. You broke my heart, and I'm old.
Okay, all right. Hey, so Tony, Chris, let's get y'all's reactions to this one. What did you think about this trade that came? Like I said, no one thought this was going to happen. It says the Mavs did try to they talked to another team that hasn't been released who it is yet, but they declined it for whatever reason. But it got done with the Lakers, and they get their next big superstar in the making.
I was surprised. We were actually driving home from Royal Rumble, and my phone just kept going off, which was Frankie in the chat group. But You know what I mean? I'm driving, so I'm not checking. I just hear the phone going off. I'm like, damn, what's
going on?
What's everybody talking about this late at night?
Yeah.
And we stopped to get gas.
Mhm.
And I went in the gas station when the dad came in a couple minutes later, and he said, "Hey, Luka just got traded." And I said, "That's why my phone's been exploding."
Yeah, that's exactly it.
But to me, there had to be something behind the scenes going on between Dallas and Luka for Dallas just to do this out of nowhere. Because he hasn't played a lot this season, but if you look at all the other years, he usually plays over almost at least 70 games a season. So it's not like he's had a lot of big time injury issues.
Jay.
But I think it's a good move for the Lakers because now you're getting a younger guy. Davis is older. Yes, Davis has been plays better defense.
I think he's 33. Davis is, and
So
Luka's
I think
25,
Lakers,
about to be 26.
this is a move for the Lakers looking toward the future because now they got a 25-year-old star when LeBron leaves. I honestly think LeBron's going to be leaving the Lakers here in about a week. I think he's getting traded before the trade deadline. I think LeBron's going to the Warriors and teaming up with Steph Curry before the trade deadline next week.
Christ.
I don't think the Lakers are done making trades
I'm
yet.
not challenging you, but Braun has come out and said he wasn't going to waive his no trade clause, that he was going to stay there. So do you think that he eventually, or what you're saying is he's going to change his mind on that stance and actually go ahead and do it?
Yeah, I do because he keeps saying how he wants to play with Steph. I think it's going to happen before the trade deadline. And we've heard a lot of players say before, I'm not going to waive my trade clause, and the
Lakers don't have anyone to trade right now.
I'm sorry. I said, would that negate the whole part of Bronny being there? I mean, that would kind of
look.
Yeah.
Bronny was a PR move. Let's be real.
Oh no, I understand it's a PR move, but don't you think that Bronny's pulled back?
But if he could get Bronny at the Lakers, you don't think he could get Bronny over to Golden State if he wanted?
Oh, in a heartbeat.
I mean, it depends on how bad the Lakers. I mean, the Golden State wants him. Could they do it? For sure, they could do it.
You know what I like about this is the general managers and the owners not telling. I understand that it's like a slap to Luka. I understand it's kind of like a slap to AD and stuff. But the fact that the general managers and the owners kept this so quiet, not even letting LeBron James know. Like, I mean, LeBron James come out and say, "Listen, I was at dinner after the Knicks game with my family. I didn't know nothing about this." Everybody was in complete shock. No, it's true. Because let's be real. If LeBron knew about this, LeBron would have shut this down. He would have said, "Listen, I want to keep AD. Like, that's our defender guy. Like, why are we going to try and get rid?"
Well, I
guess that's just speculation, though.
A little bit. Does that dispel? Number one, does that make 2 points? Number one, we all know that forever and a day it's been LeGM, right? LeBron is being the GM, right?
Yes.
Down low.
That's been the ongoing joke forever.
You got to take one, maybe A, that dispels that, or B, maybe that's the Laker ownership wanting to tell the whole world, hey, it's not LeBron's team, that we are taking control of our team back, and we're going to start making our own damn moves and go away from LeBron.
Right, because you could get LeBron's insight if you want, but at the end of the day, how many years you have left in LeBron? I mean, he's already going on after games at press conferences and stuff, telling people, I don't know how much longer I can do this.
He ain't got long.
Yeah. And then be able to keep it a secret in this day and age up until it came out.
It's impressive.
It's
that was impressive. Yeah. And the thing, too, Frankie, I think I saw about this was from Gilbert Arenas. He said that the Lakers don't usually draft superstars per se. In obviously more recent years, they've made that mark of getting these big name guys through trades. Not through free agency really either. I mean, you look at it, they got Russell Westbrook in a trade, which I know hit or miss, right? But still a big name. You got him in a trade. You got Pau Gasol in a trade. You got Kobe in a trade. I mean, a bunch of other guys too who were good factors, like Dwight Howard. I think you got him as well, who was a big factor in getting your championship 5 years ago. So they have made this, a habit over the years of trading for big name players. And let's flip over and talk about Dallas now, because we've talked about the Lakers and how we think this will play out. But let's talk about Dallas right now, because I've seen everyone say this is a win now type of trade for Dallas. But when I look at Dallas, they're at 9th in the standings. They're trying to just fight for a playoff spot right now. They're 26-24, and you just gave up your top scorer for AD, who I think is good, but now you get to pair him and Kyrie together. And also, let's not gloss over the fact, too, that they did give up 2 or 3 other of their players on the court as well, and Maxi Kleber and another guy as well. I can't think off the top of my head, but still, they gave up more than just one play. They gave up a few.
What's crazy to me is all these people saying, "Oh, the Mavs made this move to win now."
Right.
You just traded away a guy that carried you to the finals last year. So what do you mean you're
Put
trying
up
to
70
win
in
now?
a
You know
game.
what, though, Chris? I really believe, though. I think it came down to one, another guy give him a huge max contract. Number two, are they really fully committed to Luka because of his lack of defense?
They have to, or else
No, I
they
think
wouldn't
maybe-
have traded him.
Look, you know, Anthony Davis was a huge defensive move for those guys,
Correct.
right? If it was about scoring, they would have kept Luka. I think that they were really trying to like they said earlier, they were trying to upgrade their defense. They didn't know they wanted to commit all that money to a guy who hasn't played since December. You know, and I'm not saying he hasn't played and had bigger minutes, but obviously Luka could be wearing down a little bit. Maybe they're looking at his conditioning as an issue. I mean, I'm just saying those are the issues I think that they're looking at. But my question is, I wonder who wanted to keep it a secret. Was it the Lakers wanted to keep it a secret? Was it Dallas wanted to keep it a secret? Or was
Dallas.
it both?
It was Dallas.
It was definitely
Dallas.
Dallas.
It was
Everything
Dallas
points
because
to
Dallas
Dallas.
is a team that reached out to the Lakers.
They're the ones
Dallas
who
wanted to keep it a
said-
secret in case they couldn't find a trade partner. So then Luka wouldn't
They
be
didn't
pissed
want to
off.
piss off Luka. I get it.
Yeah.
I get what you're
Because
saying.
I mean, I've seen reports that Luka was just blindsided by this one, like he was crying in his locker room or so, you know. Well, I mean, hell, it came out of nowhere, and this was going to be a guy who was going to be. Hell, Dirk took under his wing, right, in his retirement tour. He said, "This is the next guy here. You know, he's going to be leading this franchise. He's going to be getting statues out front. He's going to be trying to get you a championship," which he almost did.
I kind of think what happened too is you got the new owners there in Dallas, and I think they wanted to make their mark on the team.
This
Well,
is not
because
Mark
they
Cuban, by the way.
basically
I've
had-
seen a lot of people
they
upset about Mark
basically
Cuban. This is
had
not Mark Cuban.
They basically left what Cuban left them. So
Cuban
this is
left,
their
yes.
way. We're going to get rid of Cuban's golden boy, and we're going to bring in our guy and try to and build it our
Sure.
way.
I can see that.
I think that's what it probably came down to is the owners wanted to put their stamp on it. Just like when you get new
Yeah.
GMs in the NFL, nobody's safe. You know what I mean? Because they bring in their guys a lot of times.
What's really shocking is the Lakers only giving up one first round pick. To
That's
me,
true.
that's just
all you got.
That's like that's the slap right there to the face of Luka. It's like you're just giving me away for. I
One
understand
draft.
Anthony
Hey,
Davis.
how many
but-
did Rudy Gobert get? How many first round draft picks did he get? Like what, 3?
Look, I
Four?
listen.
More than
17
one.
17 years ago on that day, the Lakers traded for Pau Gasol, and I promise you guys can look this up.
Kwame Brown.
The Lakers went insane, trading away so much stuff to Memphis to get Pau Gasol. It was crazy. It's nowhere near what the Lakers just made for getting Luka.
I think another
Okay,
thing
I get
too.
you.
Yeah, I think another reason too to Chris and Tony's point about why the Mavericks made this trade is because Luka is due for a supermax contract extension at the end of this year.
Oh yeah,
And he don't
absolutely.
deserve
Since he's
that?
been traded, that's now been taken away. He's still going to make a lot of money, obviously, but he's not eligible
Right, but
for a supermax.
But I'm hoping that's not the main part because at the end of the day, for what Luka has done for the franchise of Dallas since he came in, he deserved that supermax. So I hope
Well,
that's
no,
not
it's not even about whether he deserved it or not. It's just like you said, their new ownership. Were they willing to give up for that? And I think
That's the main thing.
like you
They
said,
were the ones.
put more of an emphasis on defense. And let's be honest, with Luka there, Dallas wasn't a great defending team. They just weren't. My thing is now you got Luka and Braun. That I think like Logan said earlier, they count for 40 shots a night out of about 50 to 52. Usually a team will average 50 to 55 shots a night. So now
How
you
is
look
that
at
Luka's fault, though?
Jay, I don't think it was. I don't think it was about that much about his defense. Because if we're going that route, there's a lot of stars in the NBA that ain't great defenders. Steph Curry can't play defense, and he gets max contracts. There's a lot of guys that can't play defense that get max contracts. So to me,
But they also have
that's
other
just
people on
that's
that
just
team
the
that
easy
play
way
defense.
out, the easy excuse to give the Dallas Mavericks is all they're trying to blame it on his defense.
I mean, well, what else do you like it to? Think about it. What else do you like it? Are you going to say it's just specifically they don't want to give the supermax contract? Because you're going to have to give it to somebody.
That's
I
probably
like it too.
that
I
might
like
be
it
a
too.
reason.
It's the new owner and the new GM wanting to make their mark and their stamp on the team.
So they put their mark on an aging guy. Because let's be honest, Anthony Davis is the youngest guy in the
He's not
world.
getting
His conditioning ain't exactly the best. So I mean, that's a hell of a mark to make. I don't disagree with you.
Oh, I think it was I think it's a stupid move myself, but I'm just saying I think that's what they done.
I agree with that.
But like Frankie said too, I don't understand why they didn't get more draft picks out of this. You could have got so much more. But you play the risk of Anthony Davis. Look, I know he's been healthy recently, but it's always going to be a cause for concern if he ever does go down.
Listen, he's never lived in the state of Dallas. He's gonna walk the streets and hit a pothole. He's gonna hit a pothole that he's never known that it was there, and he's gonna twist his ankle on that pothole. He knows every freaking pothole.
Wait, hold on a minute.
He knows every pothole.
You ain't even know a damn thing about Texas. You ain't never even stepped foot in my state. How you gonna talk about a damn pothole? You're from freaking New York. You're the freaking inventor of potholes, asshole.
Are you really gonna sit there and say there's no goddamn potholes in the state of Texas? First of all, you live in Houston, not Dallas, sir.
Dallas.
You don't live in Dallas. I'm pretty sure there's
you're
potholes
right.
in Dallas.
Hold on. You're right, because my wife's not from Dallas, right? She's not from Dallas, right?
She's from Dallas.
Hey, we have 0 potholes here in Muncie, Indiana.
Jay, your wife can be from Dallas.
Your wife
can be from Dallas, Jay. Jay, answer me this. She can be from Dallas. That's cool. But does she currently live in Dallas? When was the last time your wife lived in Dallas?
Still has family member all around Dallas.
When was the last time your wife lived in Dallas?
I just got out of Dallas. I went there because I had to take her up there. You don't think I've been to Dallas, guy?
Oh, so you? I did not say anything about you never being in Dallas. You see how I like how you like to twist the word. That's what you like to do. You like to twist the word. Where did I say you never stepped foot in Dallas? I'm saying if your wife can be from Dallas, but when was the last time you were in Dallas?
Who gives a fuck about pothole?
You know what? Wise words there, Tony.
Those so much. I think Frankie just saying that I don't know the state of Texas.
I
have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
My question is: do you think the Lakers, right now, in the next 2 years, or as long as LeBron's there, can win a championship the way the team is right now?
No,
they still need help on the bench.
Yeah,
not even just the bench.
But I think the key was the fact that they got Luka for the future, and I think it was a horrible move by Dallas. I don't understand.
Dallas, I don't understand.
Something behind the scenes. Maybe it's not just poor attitude. I don't know, but there's something there.
Oh, it's definitely a bad move on Dallas' part.
I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense because unless you think this new duo of AD and Kyrie is just going to go off and and take you to the promised land, which hell they very well could. We don't know. But I'm not feeling great about it, and Kyrie
made it work with Luka. He did. Kyrie made it work with Luka. I think he'll make it work with AD too. I don't think that's so much the issue. The issue for me is, can AD stay on the damn court? I mean, I understand he's going through an injury, but look, how many times has AD been injured? It's always an off and on. He never plays consistently throughout the whole year. He's very up and down, and Frankie knows that.
Frankie knows it very well. But let's go ahead and move on let's talk about the other NBA trade. Because there wasn't just one big trade over the weekend. There was two, and that is another 3-team deal. This one's going to be De'Aaron Fox going to the Spurs and Zach LaVine heading to the Kings. A bunch of other players were involved as well, a bunch of draft picks mostly, but those are the main two players. So De'Aaron Fox heads up to San Antonio to hang out with Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama. And Zach LaVine finally gets to leave and head out to Sacramento to a flailing Kings team. So what were your thoughts on this one? Who do you think won this trade? Who do you think lost this trade? Let's go, Jay. I'll go with you first.
Yeah. I mean, definitely, man. You're bearing up a really good guard who's averaging, 25 points, I believe it is, a game, and now you're averaging him up with Wembanyama, and we know Wembanyama, who now is probably going to get Defensive Rookie of the Year, he's probably get Defensive Player of the Year, excuse me, and he's probably going to get, he definitely will be an MVP consideration, at least a consideration, right? So, I mean, you're pairing up that's a really good 1-2 punch, Logan.
And also, too, it might not go into effect this year, but I think for however long the Spurs keep him, let's not forget Chris Paul is going to be his veteran on that team. Right. And, I mean, hell, if there's another point guard in the league today you'd want to learn from than him, it's a very small list, but I like the move for the Spurs, honestly.
I got to be honest.
I think it's
really a win-win, honestly, because it's a win, like you said, it's a win for the rebuild of San Antonio, right? I mean, this just further exasperates the rebuild over there. Also, under Popovich, eventually when Popovich does get back, at some point, I think so. Even if he doesn't come back, he's got some really good coaches over there that can help further develop Fox and Wembanyama. I think this is really good on the Spurs. I think it's a win for those guys.
And also too for the Bulls, they got a first-round pick. They got
I was about to say they
picks
got
from San Antonio, but they also got Zach Collins, Trey Jones, and Kevin Huerter. So they picked up a couple pieces for, like I said, Chicago's they're rough this year. So this isn't doing them any favors in a way. This is just getting rid of Zach LaVine, basically.
I actually like Kevin Huerter going to the Bulls. Honestly, I mean, I know a lot about.
And I know a lot about Kevin. Kevin was with the Hawks.
You remember, I told you the day you guys had him. I'm like, yo, Logan, he's from my area. I know this guy. I know this kid really well. Like, I know the Bulls got a really good player in him.
I think the Kings got what Dallas should have got, which is they got 3 first rounders and they got 3 second rounders.
No, yeah.
The Bulls, the Bulls get Spurs forward, Zach Collins, Trey Collins hurt. I don't know if I like what the Spurs got, to be honest with you. I don't really like it.
You don't like what the Spurs got? Wait.
You mean you don't like what the Bulls got?
You mean Bulls? The Bulls.
The Bulls got.
Yeah, well, the Bulls ain't doing anything right now anyways.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think they got – what I'm saying is they got for Zach LaVine, they got 3 players that I don't know. I don't really care too much for. And then they're
not stars.
But they did get their 2025 pick back from the Spurs, which that was a good thing. At least they got that out of it. But I think the 2 winners out of this, and you're right. If you want to get rid of compensation or get rid of money, then they did win on that aspect. You're right. So if you're going to look at it that way, then they all 3 got wins, right? I mean, it's a much better trade scenario than the Dallas Mavericks and Lakers scenario.
I feel like that's fair.
What's real funny about this trade, and you guys are going to get a kick out of it, is DeMar DeRozan left Chicago because he didn't want to be teammates with Zach LaVine.
Hell.
He goes to Sacramento.
Right.
And now he got to be on a team with Zach LaVine again.
Hey, DeMar's about to just retire. I'm calling it. I don't want to be this
Listen,
dude
I'm real happy. I'm gonna make this short and sweet so Chris and Tony can go. I'm real happy for De'Aaron Fox, honestly. Get out of Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
What you tried it, you had your moment and it didn't work. Now
I still don't get what they fight back rounds.
You got a great, tall defensive player in Victor Wembanyama. You're learning from the great Chris Paul, who people like to call Chris Point God. It's not a saying, it's true. The man is an absolute beast at point guard. So I mean, and it also takes a lot out of you. I mean, you get more of the opportunity of doing what you want to do because you have Chris Paul being the ball handler. You could do what you wanted to do in Sacramento, but you couldn't do. So now you get to do it there in San Antonio. I'm real happy for De'Aaron Fox. He's going to be great in San Antonio. The Bulls are the Bulls. They haven't been the same since Jordan left. No. So it's always going to be like that. It's kind of like the Cowboys. But go ahead, Chris. Go ahead, Tony.
I think it was a great trade for San Antonio. I think it was fantastic.
Big winners.
Yeah, no, I think it was great because like we've been talking the last couple of weeks that they needed to get a young point guard with Wembanyama, and now they have that.
Yeah. Now they have their future, right? That could be their 1-2 punch for I don't know how many years because Fox is still relatively young. He was drafted, I think. He's drafted the same year as Lonzo, right?
About 25, 24?
Probably right around that range.
And this really does put Chris Paul in a good position, right?
It does. He can ride off into the sunset now.
All he has to do is
Fox is 27,
best, and which is facilitate the ball and use his coaching experience. He's a great on the field or on the court coach, so he can coach, he can facilitate. He doesn't have to worry about being the scorer, and that really puts Paul at the latter part of his career in a really good position.
And that'll make Fox a better player too, I think.
If the Pacers do end up trading Turner to the Lakers, they need to get Sabonis back from the Kings.
Oh, I haven't heard that, Gonzo. Is that something that's heating up or something?
Yeah,
I mean, hell, Miles Turner's been on the trade lock for 5 years.
Miles Turner gets rumored to the Lakers every year. Every year the Lakers will get Miles Turner.
It was him and it was Zach LaVine for the longest also. Remember?
Zach
LaVine.
I feel like
picking up behind that.
I feel like for the last 5 to 6 years, it's been heating up.
Miles Turner's on the block.
I feel like the Lakers are been heating up to get Miles Turner for 6 years, adding Buddy Hield.
Just make it happen. Buddy Hield was that was the main two. Buddy Hield and Miles Turner going to the Lakers for so and so.
So every year,
but I wonder if that will actually ever come to a fruition.
So that's I listen, Jay. I've been wishing it because every year for the past 5 to 6 years, I tell Tony and Chris at the trade deadline since I know them, I say, "You guys ready to give me Miles Turner now?" And they keep telling me it's not happening. And it's
Lakers
true.
ain't done that, and we fucking won.
Man, I will tell
Hey,
you,
we'll take Luka.
Take Luka.
I'll give you
another
Rui.
one.
I'll give
I'll
you
tell you
Rui
right now, though,
Hachimura.
if you guys were
That's
able to get a
Nakamura,
Miles
whatever his
Turner
second name is.
and
Yeah.
pair him with Luka and Braun, that would be
Hey,
a pretty
listen.
formidable. And then you
Listen,
got
I will
Austin
trade
Reeves.
you.
You got Bronny. No.
I would trade the Pacers. I would
Yeah.
trade the Pacers, Rui Hachimura and Bronny James
For Miles
I'm sure you
Turner.
would.
for Miles Turner.
Throw in a draft pick, and I think you might get him talking.
I'll throw in the 2030
Tony,
second rounder.
He's going to give you garbage. He's going to give you garbage for Miles Turner.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're excited about that. You've got to be rolling over.
I don't want them to get rid of Turner, but if they do, I wouldn't be against Sabonis coming back. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look. We talked about it on Friday. I can't believe he got snubbed from the All-Star game. He was been doing really good this year, but it is what it is.
Listen, if the Lake, I'm still on this. If the Lakers were to give something trashy to the Pacers for Miles Turner, I swear to God, Rob Pelinka better be general manager for the year or some shit.
Yeah.
I swear to God, if he was to get Miles Turner for
Give
some
it to him.
trash picks or something,
Hey, hold on. So your coach, your team gets the GM of the year, and then the Pacers get what? A fired GM? I mean,
Yeah.
hold on, that's not my fault.
rebuilding season.
Honestly, I don't think Turner's going anywhere. Pacers
I don't
are
think he
playing
is
good
either.
ball right now.
That might be.
don't mess up
might
good
be a race
chemistry.
between. That might be a race between Dallas's GM and the Pacers GM. If they make that
Oh
move.
God.
Pacers moved up the top 4 in the East now. They moved up in front of the Bucks.
But Tony, be for real. If what Tony or what Frankie just suggested actually came to fruition, you know damn good well, man, you'd be the one out there with the coffin.
I don't know exactly.
Rest
what
in
Frankie,
peace, Miles Turner.
Frankie wishing that on me. I don't know where Frankie lives, but I'll find it. And we'll shoot him. So if Frankie ends up dead, if that trade happened, I did it.
Yeah, that's the reason behind
So
it.
Frankie will be in the coffin, and God will have the rest in peace sign at the airport.
All right, let's wrap up our NBA discussion for the day and talk about this. Jimmy Butler apparently has killed another potential trade destination, this one being with the Golden State Warriors, saying he's unwilling to sign an extension if they trade for him. Hell, at this point, I don't even know if he's going to play the rest of the season. He might just sit the rest of the year out.
I don't think he does.
Who the hell wants him?
I don't think he does.
Phoenix. Phoenix wants him. But
Yeah.
who's Phoenix going to give? Your bench?
Phoenix is trying really hard to get Bradley Beal to lift that no trade clause.
Hell, they're the ones they traded. They
You know
got
what,
him for
in all
that.
honesty, though, I think what Phoenix is doing is they're saying like, "Hey, look, we'll give you something for nothing. You know, if you take our guy for your guy, and if it doesn't happen, we don't care because we know at the end of the season he's just going to come to us anyway, and we don't have to give up anybody unless we want to cut somebody to bring on Butler." So I think Phoenix is going to be the ultimate winner of all this because whether that they trade or don't trade, they're going to get Butler at some point. I really believe he's going to go there. Like he said, if he will not extend, he will become a free agent, and that's the first place he's going to go is right to Phoenix.
I think Phoenix is going to be the loser in this either way because even if they get Butler, it's not going to improve. To me, not going to improve their team.
Yeah,
because they still got
him
Durant. That's why.
Him and Durant are going to be beating each other up in the locker room every game. Because
Yeah,
God,
right. Kevin
you
Durant can't
could
fight.
you see? Come on, think about it. Could you see the potential locker room issues with that? Because Jimmy Butler, a guy who took on a team of starters with the practice squad, and then he won the game, left and did an interview on ESPN. And Kevin Durant, who everyone has said for years is fragile and he'll tweet his feelings and stuff like that. Could you them in the locker room there too? Jesus Christ. I mean that just seems like just a bad fit.
And to me, getting rid of Bill to get Butler, it's almost like getting the same guy to me. Basically, you're not getting a big upgrade there. Other than Bill, I know isn't healthy a lot of times, but
so it says on Bleacher Report the Suns are, like I said, they're fully focused on getting Butler. I mean, hell, this might be I feel like this isn't going to be a 1-for-1 type trade.
no, they're saying
this
that,
is
for Phoenix
definitely
to
going
get
to
it
be.
done. It's going to take 4 to 5 teams.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest though, you can't just trade Jimmy for someone else straight up. That's not how it's going to work because you got to have money involved in this too. You got to have because, like I said, this is the Butler's worth a lot of money, so you got to find some space for that somewhere. Where that's giving up, your sixth guy on the bench for some draft picks or whatnot. I mean, there's a couple of routes you can take, but this is definitely not going to be an easy trade to dissect. There's going to be a bunch of different teams in it, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure.
But
absolutely. I just don't think Butler, like Butler said, he doesn't plan to sign anywhere. He said, no matter who you send me to, I'm not going to sign that player option. He's willing to give up $52 million player option just to make his point. I think that I'm going to become a free agent and I'm going to Phoenix. Now, the Gonzo,
I'm bringing in a special guest in a minute.
Oh, okay. In a minute, okay. All right.
But I do.
Oh
believe,
no.
Oh
no.
I do believe what Gonzo's saying, that even if you get Butler there, and what I meant by winning it is that they're going to get their guy. But if because they get their guy, to what Gonzo's saying, it's not going to make them better because they're going to be fighting over.
But hey, Jay, let me bring this factor into it too.
Yeah,
Butler, in a sense, has the cards in his hand because he has a player option, Jay, for next season worth $52.5 million.
I don't want to pause anybody, but ladies and gentlemen, let's get a word from the #1 Jimmy Butler fan since his days in Chicago.
Streaming while driving, it's Mike Hughes.
Woo.
Hey, Mike, what's up, man?
I know, because I have so much respect for Gonzo. That's my brother for real, man. I know we did not just compare Bradley Beal to Jimmy fucking Butler, who's been to the finals twice with a bunch of white guys that look like me.
I thought you were Italian, but okay, let's keep going.
Italian's white. I'm not one of those Italians like that.
Mind you, one of the finals was something called a bubble.
Mind you, your team won that.
You got yourself right there.
We won it.
Yeah, you got yourself there, buddy. Hey, well, Mike, let's get your thoughts on these trades, man. Luka, he's going to LA for Davis, and then also your Bulls made a move out there in Chicago in a 3-team deal. So, what's your thoughts on all the NBA madness from the weekend, my friend?
The LA stuff, man, that's crazy. I mean, I was sitting with Shorty. We was just hanging out, and her brother walked in the room and was like, "Mike, is this real?" And I was like, "What is it?" And he told me, and Frankie knows I'm a diehard Luka Doncic fan. He's been my guy. Him and Jimmy have been my guys, really since ever. Since they came into the league, and to see Luka go is just devastating. To hear his goodbye letter he wrote on Instagram was even more heartbreaking, just because it's like, he really did get blindsided with that.
Boo-hoo, fuck Dallas.
But no, I don't feel sorry for Dallas. I feel just sorry for Luka, because I know he wanted to stay there his entire career. But I would say my first thought was Luka Doncic just became the face of the NBA. And I think a part of that's because we talk about the Dirk Nowinskis and how, a guy like Dirk or a guy like Tim Duncan kind of get forgotten about because they were in San Antonio or they were in Dallas. But now you're in the mecca of basketball. You know what I mean? Like, Jason Tatum gets compared to Kobe Bryant by some people just because he's in fucking Boston. It's not because of how he plays whatsoever. But, I think Luka is in a situation now where he is the face of basketball for me. I think it's an amazing move. I heard earlier Kevin Durant, I know Frankie hates him, is on the trade block. So is Dallas going to make a move to get Kyrie, AD, and KD? Could they fix this? I don't know. Get Clay the fuck out of there. But, I think it's interesting. And then for the Bulls, it's kind of what I thought it was. We've known for years that Sacramento wanted Zach LaVine. They actually offered him a contract back in 2018, and we just we matched the offer. So I knew Sacktown wanted him. I just didn't expect De'Aaron Fox to not be there. So they basically, when you told I made a video on it, and I'm not trying to be funny, but for real, it's like when you asked your mom if you guys could stop at McDonald's, and she said we had McDonald's at home, and that's just Sacramento. It's the Sacramento Bulls. You got DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and here's your white ass center. Just like Vucevic, they got Sabonis. So it is what it is. We Kevin Huerter's nice, I guess. Not really.
How do you think?
That's what I said. Not really.
How do you think? How do you think DeMar DeRozan feels? Because he and I said this to the boys earlier. He's the one who wanted to get out of Chicago because he didn't want to be in the team with Zach LaVine because he wasn't producing or doing anything. Yeah. Now he's stuck being with Zach LaVine again through a trade.
I think they're fond of each other off the court. But the big thing for the last couple of years has been that Zach and DeMar really had that issue of who the number one guy was. Like there was a spurt, and it actually started with Gonzo and his Pacers and Pops. Hi, Pops. When DeMar hits that back-to-back game winners against Washington and Indiana, what was that, 2022? It kind of became DeMar's team. And I think that kind of upset Levine. So for them to make this move again, I don't see how it's going to be any different. I think they're a play-in team at best, to be honest. But
one more question. How do you feel if the Lakers trade Rui Hachimura and Bronny James to the Pacers for Miles Turner?
You'll never have to hear from Frankie again because I'm gonna kill him.
I think LeBron James retires at the end of the year if this occurs. I mean, if I'm the Lakers, I take that 10 times out of 10. If I was Pops, I would fucking jump off a bridge.
Well, I'm gonna go to New York or wherever Frankie lives. I'm gonna kill him. And then I might jump off a bridge.
Yeah,
I ain't going to prison. I ain't gonna be no pincushion.
You're right. Why end yourself when you could just end Frankie? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
My thing is, let me ask you this, and I've been saying this earlier. When it comes to Luka, like, who do you think got the win out of that trade? I know we've been talking about it a little bit here. Who do you think got the win? Did Dallas get it, or did LA get it? Or is it just
who is it, Mike?
He clearly didn't hear you say that Luka's one of your favorite ball players. So go ahead.
I think he's his favorite ball player, but I mean, how does he fit with the chemistry of the Lakers?
Luka is the Lakers. That's what it is, and they will figure it out.
They'll figure it out.
Whatever this current team is, and I'm curious to see it, but and I kind of think of it. You remember how Luka played with Dirk in his last year when he was a rookie, and they kind of had some chemistry, but it was kind of just two good players playing alongside each other at the ends of their career. That's kind of the situation now. This team with Bron is not the future of the Lakers, and I think Frankie would agree with that. I think they're gonna ball out, and they're gonna make the playoffs, and we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, it's LeBron James. If he wants to play fucking center, he can play fucking center for them if he wanted to. But, I think they're going to construct a roster after LeBron James to get a max player, whether that's Giannis Antetokounmpo, whether that's Jokic, whatever the case may be, Joel Embiid. Somebody is going to team up with Luka because of where he is. And that's the big difference. That's the conversation,
And
bitch.
Oh, dang. Hey, that's some Chi-Town right
there. That's Chicago South Side shit.
I'll hold this, and we'll hold it here.
I'm on the north side. Fuck the south side.
I had saw of it since 2022. The Mavericks have traded or not signed back Jalen Brunson, Kristaps Porzingis, and now Luka.
Yep.
I mean, that's three heavy blows right there. Especially Brunson and Luka. Porzingis is a good player, but he's not. He's not to their level. He's still a good player though.
Yeah,
I definitely think that Brunson hit was hard.
That Brunson, what was the whole thing that we said during the finals? That if they had Brunson, they might have won. Because remember, he went crazy in the playoffs.
Yeah, they might have lost in 6, but I think they still would have got their ass busted.
I feel like it would have been closer, but I mean, there's always the what ifs,
Sure, and even to that point, if they still had Brunson, does it look as bad trading Luka because you still have a young franchise player under 25 years old? You have Kyrie who's 30, and that's not going to do anything for you.
I think is Kyrie only 30?
He's 35, I think, something like that.
Okay, so he's older though. As hard as it is to think, he's older. And who are they building around? Is it Derek Lively? I guess is that who their kind of next young guy is?
I would say you're still building around AD, but I guess AD is going to be your face of the franchise.
Oh, for sure.
I don't think. I think Lively is obviously the future.
I guess so. Well, that helps Lively too. That you've got AD, who's been a great big
and they
man.
got Gafford too.
They have some good guys up there. Dallas is still a good team. Don't get it twisted. They're still a good team, but I still kind of scratch my head at this one.
Yeah, you can't spell LA without Luka.
Oh, and there you go. Hey, well, guys, let's talk some wrestling here. Tony, Chris?
I gotta go.
And what an exit.
That's okay. I kind of
his face froze. I felt like I had to even just take him off. Tony, Chris, y'all were live and in person at Lucas Oil Stadium for the Royal Rumble this past Saturday. So what was it like, man? What was the build up to it? Hell, if you guys saw, we talked about it on Friday, but our guy Big Glenn was carrying around the ESPN Fantasy Football Championship, getting photos taken with all the stars: Rhea Ripley, LA Knight. I mean, Ric Flair.
Woo!
I mean, you name it, and our boy Big Glenn was out there representing as well, so we appreciate him for that. But Tony, Chris, what was y'all's thoughts on Royal Rumble? Just the time y'all had there in person. Then we'll talk about the show after that.
First, start off with the atmosphere of the stadium.
It was awesome. I'll go with my complaint first.
Okay, all right.
I'll go with, and it was a small complaint, but the way they have things set up to get into the building to get into the Rumble, it was just chaos.
Just the organization was there.
I figured that was going to be chaos.
The thing is, you have 70,000 people trying to get in this building, so I don't think there's a whole lot they could do.
Yeah,
it was
just
crazy.
have everybody trying to get. You know how people are. Everybody's in a hurry. Everybody wants to get in.
But honestly, it only took us,
after they opened the doors, it probably only took us 15-20 minutes to get in. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Before we get your guys' thoughts when you guys were inside, I'm glad you mentioned that because I was watching it and I seen the outside because the camera view they want to show the back
drone view.
Stadium, the outside of the stadium, and I know Jay, you had trouble at the start of it watching it. Logan, I don't know if you caught that when you was watching it, but the line of all those fans was insane. I'm talking about longer lines than trying to get to an actual football game. I'm not talking about line. I'm not talking about straight line, guys. I'm talking about lines that was wrapping around the stadium.
Yeah, all over the place.
Yeah. I've seen it.
And like so they reported there was around 70,000 fans there.
Yes.
When you got 70,000 people trying to get into a venue that's in a downtown setting, there's not a whole lot of damn space there, number one, to begin with. Plus parking, plus cars, and everything else. You knew it was going to be chaos. Everybody knows a downtown venue is always going to be chaos when you got that many people trying to get it. It's just crazy.
But
you can't get around that.
They had a Pacer game going on too.
Oh God! So it's just a mess.
The
Pacer game started at 5.
Royal Rumble was at 6.
Oh yeah. So what time did y'all leave to get there though? What y'all probably left at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
With all the traffic.
We got downtown that day about 11:30, and then we just walked.
Okay.
We got to our parking garage, and then we just walked around downtown where we were going.
Well, we went to WrestleCon.
We went to WrestleCon.
So what was that? What was that like? Who all did you see?
Well, before I get to that, let me kind of start at the beginning because
go ahead.
To me,
in the beginning,
to me, this is the best live event I've ever been to in my life.
Yep.
Start at the beginning.
I love going to football. I love going to football games. I love going to watch baseball games, concerts.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never been to nothing like I was at Saturday night at the Royal Rumble with the production and everything. That many people, it was awesome. But we got down there Friday, and we got down there early Friday. And you mentioned Glenn. We ran into Glenn 2 or 3 times over the weekend. We actually saw him on Friday. But we got down there. We went to the WWE Superstore. That was awesome.
You said you spent some merch. How much you dropped?
See, I've sent 120 on the about.
He's got the beanie.
Yeah, the beanie was only 30. The beanie was only 30.
I got my Cody Rhodes shirt on. This was 40.
Okay.
I bought a Stone Cold Steve Austin jacket. That cost me 120. And then
is it like the leather one? You got the leather one?
No, it's not leather.
Oh, I thought Chris about to shave his head again.
And then,
dress up Stone Cold.
Can you please walk away from the camera and dress as Stone Cold Steve Austin for me?
And then I bought a Pat McAfee t-shirt that says "Sorry about it."
Okay. Okay. So I know
my son bought some stuff, but that was cool. And like we got to see that they had a bunch of the superstars doing autographs there, which we didn't do any of that, but we got to see Rey Mysterio sitting there signing autographs.
Is this the Stone Cold jacket?
Yeah, this is the Stone Cold jacket.
Oh, okay.
I would love for you.
Flip it.
Yeah,
that looks clean.
Put it on. Put it on for me.
And then there's it's reversible. And then that's the inside of it.
Yeah. That's cool.
Get up right
Oh,
now.
we got
Take your
two
shirt,
jackets for the
take your
price of
shirt
one,
off. Put that
basically.
jacket on. Turn into Stone Cold for me. Go get your jean shorts. I know you got it.
Get the knee
Oh,
brace.
hey, I did almost buy a Stone Cold vest. They had those. I almost bought those. Those were $150.
Oh man, you could have got it for about an extra 20 or so.
I'll wear the jacket. I'll wear the jacket out more than I would that
Okay.
vest.
But what else, man? I mean,
all
so,
that,
but then,
all that is about 4 more Uber Eats, and you'd have had it.
But then we went to on Friday night after we went to the Superstore. We had a couple independent wrestling shows. One of them that we actually recorded and that we're going to be putting out. And at that show, Chavo Guerrero Jr. was there.
Got to meet
And
him.
I'm back in the locker room talking to a couple wrestlers, and I look up and here comes Chavo walking in the locker room, and he walked straight up to me and said, "Hi, I'm Chavo." Shook my hand.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Anderson came in right after that. Got to talk
Anderson,
to him.
Meet him.
Mark Henry was sitting 10 feet from us eating some nachos. watching the show.
Hey! How big is he in real life?
It's huge, man.
Is he just a
he-
monster?
Yes.
And
Hey,
and
Mark
also
Henry
that
is a-
show
is a
Friday
hell of a
night. That show Friday night was the biggest show that we've ever got to commentate. There was over 900 people in that building. Standing room only, sold out.
Great show.
That was awesome. And then after that, we went to a hardcore show called WCW Unrated. 2 guys ended up going to the hospital after that show. I mean, we saw guys get hit with gusset plates. Actually, hand me that.
Oh, we got a souvenir?
Yeah, the guys basically made us
Hold on.
like a trophy. It's one of the weapons.
Let's
It's
see
a
what we
weapon
got
that
here.
was used in the match. They call it the
Oh,
back.
look at that.
They call it the back scratcher.
Well,
It
the
has,
strips-
carpet tack strips on it on a board. But all
Tony,
the
You sleep
a
with
lot
that
of
at
the
night?
rest was autographed it for us.
Oh, that's
Tony,
cool.
you lay that on your back at nighttime, Tony?
No.
Yeah, it's like yoga.
Yeah, one
Oh,
one of
hey.
the guys there at WCW made that for us, and then almost all the wrestlers
Hey,
signed
hey.
it for us.
Oh
You know,
my
talking
God!
about
Is
the
this
Rumble
who
and
I think
returns.
it is?
It's our return.
But then
How did he,
So
how
we
did he
did-
find us?
We haven't went anywhere. we
So we
haven't went anywhere. Dude.
we didn't get back from that show till like 4 a.m. to the hotel.
Jesus, okay. And then he had the
And
Rumble
then,
the next day.
You know, Saturday for the Rumble, we left the hotel by 11, went to 8, and then we went to WrestleCon. At WrestleCon, man, everybody was there. We got to see the Dudley Boys.
Hardys.
My son got a picture taken with RVD doing the RVD.
Hey, was
pose.
his right arm bigger than his left? I saw that photo around the internet. That was so damn funny.
Yeah, his girlfriend got pictures with the Iconics.
The Iconics.
Okay.
Hell, I was face to face with Rick Steiner, and he gave me a head nod when we was coming out of the hallway.
Nice.
Godfather was walking right by us and stuff, which
Yeah.
I've got to meet him before.
Seen
Oh,
the Dudley
you got
Boys.
to meet Rick Steiner?
yeah.
Oh, I like the Steiner brothers. That's
The
Hey,
Honky Talk Man was there. Ricky Steamboat, Lex Luger.
A bunch of legends in Honky Tonk Man.
The biggest line at WrestleCon was the Hardy Boys. That
Yes.
line wrapped around the
Oh,
whole
I'm sure
place.
that was just because
Yeah,
I
'cause
mean it's hard
My
to
son
compare to
wanted-
them.
he wanted to get something from them, but the line was so long.
It was going to take you the whole day.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
hey,
then-
rightfully so.
And then luckily we went to the wrestling store, WWE store on Friday. Because Saturday we would have probably never got in there. And if we would have,
Oh, good
most of the
call.
stuff was sold out. There was lines. I can't even describe to
Right.
you how long these lines were.
Jesus.
It was
Well, yeah,
unbelievable.
y'all
But then-
definitely made the right call.
But then we get to the Rumble, and once you get in, like as soon as we get in, we walk in the door, and right there they're doing the pre-show, and the whole place is chanting McAfee as we walk in, and then we get up to it was awesome the way they had the stadium set up, the light show.
So we'll talk about just the show in general. If you guys have any moments during the show, live and in person, just chime in and let me know. But what was the? I mean, did you get food there? Did you get drinks? How was everything at the stadium, food wise and whatnot?
I got a sandwich called the Understaker. It was a Philly cheesesteak with whole jalapenos on it.
Okay.
It had queso, onion straws. It was pretty damn good, but it was called the Understaker.
All right, Chris, did you also get one of those? Or
I just got popcorn and a pop.
okay, just something
Because
light.
we ate at the place. We ate at a place earlier in the day, and I wasn't real hungry.
And we
Okay,
ate at
all
a
right.
place. We ate at a place that was called the Garage Food. trying to think what you call those.
Kind of like a food court.
Food court.
Oh, okay.
But it was upscale
It
food
was
court.
It's like an old like factory building that's been turned into this.
To a food court kind
Oh
of.
yeah,
They had it all.
No,
They,
I'm not
they
trying
had
to
they had bars, all kinds of
yeah,
shit.
it was really cool.
What was
No,
that?
I'm
Really
not
good
trying to-
food
I'm not
ag,
trying to
really
get,
good barbecue.
I'm not trying to get Chris in trouble, but you posted up a picture of yourself, a selfie. You look drunk as fuck.
And he drunk.
I wasn't drunk.
No?
He was drunk.
All right. All right.
Well, he must have been high as hell.
Might have been a little bit of that,
Yeah.
especially on
Man,
Friday
Brady
night.
be out
If
there
it was a picture from Friday night, yeah.
No.
Chris
I want
is-
to ask you, like, I'm glad Logan want to ask you little, well, what's the price? No, what'd you eat? Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Nah, I'm gonna get to the down, gritty, dirty stuff. All right.
Oh no.
How the hell did you guys sit there and not even try and run into the ring at number 30? Because nobody wanted to see Logan Paul come out at number 30.
Yeah.
I ain't no fool. I ain't getting that ring.
No, yeah, no, you get beat up for that. But let's go over the show. And like I said, Chris, Tony, if you guys got any comments, just chime in about being there. And then Jay, we'll get your thoughts as well. Did you? So I know you said you had some issues. You were able to watch all of the matches at least.
Yeah, I finally was able
Okay.
to start streaming, so I got to
Okay,
be
cool.
streaming. But yeah, I was able
Okay.
to get all. I didn't get them all in, but I got a lot of them in.
I got you. Okay. Well, let's just start from the top, and that's the Women's Royal Rumble. In that match, of course, we saw that Charlotte Flair returned and ended up winning that match. But obviously, there's a lot of people in it. Some returns we saw, of course, Trish Stratus, which great, love to see her. You saw Jordan Grace as well, which was a nice turn. And but like I said, a bunch of the usuals that you see, and also let's not forget the return of Alexa Bliss after about 2 years. So. I thought it was a pretty good Rumble. A lot of pretty good variety in it. But what was it like there in person after? Because everyone seemed to know that, Oh, and also of course Nikki Bella returning at 30 for the very end there. So what was your thoughts being there in person for the show for the Women's Rumble?
I thought the Women's Rumble was great. Of course, they got a big pop out of me when Trish Stratus's music hit because I've always been a big Trish fan.
We all have.
The crowd was into that match the whole time. They were loud. You mentioned Alexa Bliss. She got one of the loudest pops of the night when she came out.
Yeah, we've been waiting for her for 2 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Up at that point, it was the loudest pop. I think a couple other ones were a little bit louder later on in the show. But no, I really thought the Rumble they put together the Women's Rumble real well. I enjoyed it, and I know the crowd was into it. I mean, that place was going crazy the whole night.
Yeah,
I thought they built up the NXT girls really well.
Yeah, a couple of them in there.
Yeah, I think it had five.
Roxanne Perez was in there for a minute.
She was in there for over, I forget,
hour
like
and
45, 48 minutes, something like that.
That's one thing I did like, how they had the stats on the bottom.
I thought that was really good. I thought that was a
awesome.
good idea.
I really like that. Let me ask you guys a question real quick
Go ahead.
before we go on the next match, because it's something that I shouldn't say it bothers me. It bothers me. It's just something I think is ridiculous. You see a lot of people on the internet and all this stuff saying that the crowd was dead and that Indianapolis didn't show up. It was loud as hell there. Did it not come through on the broadcast?
I thought it
came through really well.
I thought you guys were loud as hell.
Yeah, I thought it was a good show that the crowd they pop for the big moments, but no, I didn't think they were quiet at all. Hell, we've all seen quiet crowds and it can kill an atmosphere, but no, y'all need to be loud. Y'all have a lot of shows coming up, so we need y'all to keep the energy though.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I mean,
what did you think for the women's side, Jay? Did you anyone that stood out for you? Like, damn, how did you not win?
No, I didn't catch the women's side. I think I caught it right after that part.
Okay, all right.
Unfortunately, but and it really kind of made me mad because I was really hoping that I would get to see the women's. I saw the men's, and I thought the women's was going to be either before or after the men's. I thought they were going to do it the same, or one after the other. But obviously, it's not the way it works. But
no, yeah. So Damien said the crown was dead during the tag match, which look, it's a downer match in a way because you just have that big high from the Rumble. I'm not going to say it was dead, but obviously you're not going to get the same excitement.
The crowd wasn't dead, but what the problem was, everybody just watched over an hour Rumble match. As soon as that match ended, a lot of people went to the bathroom.
Yeah,
and there was a long line, and then trying to get back up because
I went to the
Dad and Austin missed like a minute of that tag match because it took them so long to get back from the bathroom.
Right.
I think that might have been, but that crowd was still going crazy
still,
during that match. I think it was a little bit not as loud because a lot of people were
I mean, it wasn't
a lot invested in a Rumble match. You watching that whole Rumble match for an hour, following everything. I mean,
it's a lot.
Crowd, I think it had to breathe a little bit.
Yep.
And like I said, I think it was a good match overall. It was a 2 out of 3 falls match for the tag championships between DIY and Motor City Machine Guns. We saw that DIY got the win at the end when the Street Profits came out and got a couple cheap shots in, right? But and that helped them get the win. But
my only complaint on that match was I thought it could have been a little bit longer. I thought the first fall came too soon because it was like a minute in the match and boom, there was a fall. I'm like, damn, that's quick.
Uh-huh.
But other than that, I enjoyed the match.
Yeah, I did. Jay, too. That was really good.
What do you think of it, Jay?
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think I saw. You said you're talking about the fall match, right?
The tag team match, yeah.
No, I didn't catch that one.
I did. Okay.
I joined up after that. I didn't catch that one. No, trust me, it took a long time to find a damn stream I could get on.
Do you not have Peacock?
Huh?
Do you not have Peacock?
Hey, Tony, I tried that the app, but it didn't give you the premium. It just gave you the basic stuff. So the non-premium. Yeah, you got to pay for that premium. So that's probably why it wasn't in the app. But
I watch it on that. I watch it on that app every time.
Yeah.
I didn't see it on
we'll figure that out behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We'll get that.
But anyway, but I did
question
to
you guys.
Stream or something.
What do you guys think about? A lot of people bitched about it. I didn't have a problem. I actually predicted she would win. What do you guys think about Charlotte Flair winning the Rumble?
I was okay with it. I thought she was going to win too. I mean, look, there's not a whole lot of bigger stars out there in just women's wrestling because she's got the last name. Obviously, she's won countless titles. You know what I mean? Like she is a big deal.
I like Charlotte Flair just because I'm a huge fan of Ric Flair. So I anything Flair related, I support. So I like Charlotte Flair.
I thought she looked good, right? She wasn't, stumbling around. She had the knee brace on, but I thought she moved well though.
It was nice and bedazzled, the way a queen should wear it. Listen, I've been a Charlotte Flair fan since day one. All right, I loved that woman when she was in NXT. I loved her before she was in NXT. If you guys don't remember, Charlotte Flair was at WrestleMania 24 crying in the sideline with her daddy. Mm-hmm. All right, I remember
he was there.
So for her, as soon as what I hate about it is that she announced her entry into the Royal Rumble on a promo. They should have waited and had her come out with a surprise.
I guess what they didn't want though, Frankie, looking at it now, what they didn't want is they didn't want to have, because when did Charlotte come in? Like 18 or something like that? Like middle of the match or so?
Yeah, she came in like 16. She came in like 16.
Okay. So I guess they didn't want to do, I don't know, 2 big returns, I guess, because you could say, well, it would have been 3 because it would have been Alexa. It would have been.
I thought Charlotte was 27.
Was it 27? Okay.
Might have been. I don't
have the order. But I mean, the women's had more surprise value, I think, than the men's because you had Trish Stratus, you had her, you had Alexa Bliss, and you had Nikki Bella at the end. So I guess they want to add more to that, Frankie, which is why they announced it. Okay, also Damien says 27 when she came out. So yeah, I mean that would have been, I guess they didn't want to do that, but no, I was fine with her winning. I kind of figured it was going to happen when they announced it, but I don't have an issue with it. I know some people do, but I'm like, I'm not tired of watching her. So
she's been gone for a while.
Chris Damien said that the crowd was dead in the tag match. Was that not really? Was the tag match, was it a little bit less lackluster or what?
Hey, Jay, can I ask you a question?
No, don't. If it's going to be related, David, no, go ahead. I don't care.
Were you just daydreaming a couple minutes ago?
We literally just talked about that.
We brought the comment up. We talked about it. We already had the discussion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Here we go. Here we go. Another Joe Biden moment.
So on to the next match, and to someone who's probably having issues with his brain right now.
We were talking about the crowd. No, I knew we were talking about the crowd participation, but I was just saying it said during that one match it was.
Yeah, we brought that comment up on the screen and talked about that one match.
I think I might have been looking at my notes. I apologize. I'm sorry.
No, but Jay, to answer your question, that's. A lot of people were in the bathroom at the beginning of that match, so I think that might affect it a little bit. But
they just watched the
crowd was into it.
Yeah,
30,000 people. How big were them bathrooms?
Yeah. Not big enough.
Not big enough.
Chris, you're so nice.
You have to add some.
Chris, you're so nice saying that because you had a little attitude to it. Like, I felt like you didn't want to say it, repeat yourself. You were just like, everybody was at the bathroom, man. We just had an hour one Royal Rumble. Like, pay attention, Jay. Damn.
All right, so
Show your face, asshole.
Hey, Damien with a throwback there.
Oh,
Anyway,
damn.
so
Damn, I thought we let that one go.
On to the world title. We had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in a ladder match where they
Cody
just
Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes, where they just beat the hell out of each other.
Acknowledge him.
It was outstanding. It was one hell of a match. It
Yeah,
was just brutal. It was different than a lot of ladder matches where they do a lot of high spots. I mean, we had a couple of spots, but most of it was just brutal.
Yep.
I'll tell you what.
They use the ladder in different ways than I've seen other people use them.
Oh, they have
about like 8 damn ladders.
You can fit a lot of them under there. They had a little mini one too, little mini step ladder.
Oh yeah, I saw the little mini step ladder.
I call that one.
Cody Rhodes in my opinion, probably the second largest pop of the night when he came out.
That's
yeah.
He is the champ, so he's gonna get the pop.
What a pay-per-view, man.
But I thought to Tony's point, I thought it was a good match. I mean, that was a damn good match. There wasn't any like stale moments at all. Like you were invested the whole time. Yep. Hey, did you drink it? So I saw some guy had a beer, take it out of his hand, chucked it.
Yeah.
I think there's another one too.
Beer cost $14.
Call me crazy if y'all want, but I feel like that was the second best ladder match in WWE history. The first one, obviously.
I agree with you because I have it right up there with maybe the best ladder match that I've seen.
I mean, the first one's obviously going to be the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match, with Edge, Christian, the Hardys, the Dudleys. That one was a good one, but it was a ladder match. It was TLC, but it was really a ladder match.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah,
this one right here, it wasn't just like it wasn't a wrestling match. This was a fight.
Yeah, this was a fight. This wasn't a match. There were no wrestles.
Kevin Owens.
There weren't even submissions.
He hit his neck on the ladder.
Yeah.
I thought he killed him with that Alabama slam there at the end.
Me too. His head.
Let me ask you that. They were pulling pieces off of that ladder. I mean, I know they're aluminum ladders, but still, I mean, to pull that little, I guess, that little clamper.
Oh yeah, they yanked it off the bottom.
Yeah, like dang, are those ladders really that weak, or is he just really that strong that he can rip metal off of a?
That's the
one that he ripped that off. They probably had that gimmick.
Yeah, they had it fixed for him to do it.
They had it where it would come off easy.
If you guys are watching out there and you guys don't watch wrestling, or if you do watch wrestling, you don't like Kevin Owens. If he did not prove himself in this ladder match that he literally,
it's funny you say that.
I don't know what to tell you.
It's funny you say that, Frankie, because actually he's actually watching right now because he's in the comments. My cousin. He said that exact same thing yesterday. He's I really never cared for Kevin Owens, but he showed me something Saturday night.
Yeah,
was exactly what my cousin told me yesterday.
But to be like, he's always done good work. But
I've always been
listen. What he did Saturday, this man was literally taking headshots off the table. His eye cut open because he took those headshots at the table. Normally, you cut yourself. He didn't. He had a swollen eye and an open gash.
And for anyone who's watched The Boys, they're saying that Cody turned into Homelander at the end there, where he just went insane off the rails and beating the hell out of us the last like 5 minutes.
All I know, Frankie, is this. I'm just saying. That's all I want to say about that. We'll keep rolling. I just want to point that out. Good job there. I appreciate that.
Well, clearly he never watches me because I never show my face unless
Damien said, would you say this one's better than the one at Mania last year?
Yes.
Yep.
I think so.
I would.
Yes.
So I thought it was a great match. A lot of good brutal moments, of course. Memorable ending, which you'd love to see. Jay, what'd you think, man? This is they just beat the hell out of each other for how long was the match? Like 20-something minutes? It was an easy watch.
No, I thought it was great, man. Like I said, I like the ladders. I like when they were setting the ladders where they went cross from the ladder to the rope and they put them on top and they slammed them on top of that. I mean, like you said, it was amazing. It was physical. It was. I think it was everything you wanted to see. I think in a ladder match, and I think it was a lot of everything you wanted to see in a championship match, right?
Jay.
I mean, Kevin Owens. I never really liked Kevin Owens. I thought he was kind of an out of shape looking wrestler, but I like it.
Can I ask you something, Jay? Can I ask you a real question?
Yeah, go ahead.
When was the last time you actually watched a ladders match?
It's been a while.
So of course that's what you, of course you would say that. I like that you say that. I like it, honestly.
Hey, I watched it. Okay, why you give me
no, because you're over here like it was a great ladder match, but realistically, I understand. That's why I had to ask when was the last time you watched a ladder match, because we've seen good ladder matches.
Yeah.
But
this is like next level.
You have to understand, and I'm not.
I just thought it was a great ladder match because of all the. I thought the way they used the
thought it was
ladders,
good,
the multiple different ways they use the ladders, the small ladder. I mean,
Yeah.
it was.
I get it.
No,
I get it. I
creativity.
just want. This is why I've been telling you, and Logan and myself been telling you for 4 years to start watching wrestling.
Because you get
because
invested.
I want you, because you can have that feeling that me and Logan and Chris and Tony are like, because we've seen other ladder matches, but this one, it like just crazily like this is like this is a grand slam. This is a grand slam ladder match.
He said, "How can you hate it when he's your cousin or your twin?"
It's little things too, because having Sammy come out there.
That's true. At the end,
drama. And also going back to they didn't have chairs. We didn't have tables.
It's just a ladder.
It's just a ladder, and it kind of reminded me a little bit of Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon, the very first ladder match. They just used the ladder
and nothing.
Just used the ladder.
Yeah,
and
that was real
both them guys being old school guys, Rhodes and Owens, that's probably what their plan was. We're going to be more brutal, maybe, but we're going to be old school. And I'm old school because I'm old as hell. But I really liked it.
Yeah, I thought that it was like I said, just great overall. I could go back and watch that any day and keep getting entertainment from that. But I was a fan. We actually
watched it back last night. Yep. We watched it back last night on TV.
It was good.
Jay, if that pay-per-view or even that match alone, I hope that match alone changed your eyes and thoughts of wrestling, and you just start watching it more and more now. Not just pay-per-view.
I even told Melanie last night that I really wanted to start watching. Now, even Melanie's hung out with better wrestlers than I have. I was telling Chris and Gonzo, she hung out with the Von Erichs. I mean, she knows them. I'm like, and so I kind of, she was even getting into it. Like she was watching the wrestling, and she was kind of getting into it. So I think we probably will. We did watch the first Netflix. Was it Raw, right? Yeah, we watched that on Netflix. I think Frankie called me out on that one too, and I watched it, and I told Melanie, I was like, "This is pretty good stuff." So, yeah, we will.
I mean that's just a good match to show anyone who's wanting to get into it. Just here, we want to watch two guys beat the hell out of each other. There you go.
Really, honestly, it really is a good match, and I really like if even when like the men's match, to fight for who's gonna go. I thought John Cena, when he had those double wrestlers on top of him, I was like,
yeah. So let's see. We'll go into this before we talk about the men's rumble. But Damien says, "What are y'all's thoughts on Alexa Bliss joining Raw and not SmackDown with the Wyatt 6-6?"
That's surprising if it happens.
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna happen for a little bit until the draft,
eventually.
I think until the draft, because the Wyatt 6, there's a member that's injured right now, and that's why they haven't been shown lately.
Yeah.
But once the drafts come around, I feel Alexa Bliss,
they'll get it cooking back up.
Well, and if you guys noticed, the doll that she had on one
different.
Well, it had one of the eyes had a 6 on it.
Oh, I did not see that.
And also, her jacket also had a tribute to Bray Wyatt.
Yeah,
on the back of her jacket.
So it seems like that's the likely case, but hey, who knows? We'll see. All right, last match, main event, men's Royal Rumble. Lot going on here, a lot of surprises. We saw some crazy stuff happening, but it all ended with main event Jey Uso winning the main event and now going on to main event WrestleMania, taking on presumably Gunther, but they haven't announced it yet. But that's who's going to be. So men's Rumble. Tony, Chris, y'all were there for all the big pops, for all the surprise entrance, for Joe Hendry, for Penta stepping out, not stepping out.
Yep.
And of course John Cena's final one. You got to see a Twitch streamer get absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
How was all that?
It was crazy.
How was that, guys?
That was nuts.
I will say this though, Logan Paul is a lot more athletic than I really.
Logan
realized.
Paul is a great athlete.
He's a great athlete.
The fact he was able to jump from the ring all the way to that desk and stay on the desk, I mean, that was crazy.
Kofi Kingston could do the same thing.
He did 10 years earlier.
Yeah,
Guys, it was almost a. I always had my favorite Rumble was the one when Ric Flair won 91, 92. The 2021 when Drew McIntyre was probably my second favorite. And for me, and maybe because I was there, I don't know, but this is my favorite Rumble. I thought it was put together from start to finish, outstanding. I love the fact that Penta and Ray started it. Steiner had big Breaker had big moments. There was a lot of people who had big moments. I just thought it was fantastic.
Can I
pops.
Can I ask you guys, what was the atmosphere like for that moment when at the time it was Roman Reigns and then John Cena music hit, then after that it's CM Punk music hit, then after that Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
That place was going crazy. The whole
They just kept getting higher and higher.
and Joe Hendry's pop was right up there with with everybody too. That whole place singing his song.
You're a little bit behind here, Damon. This happened months ago.
But I think the biggest pop of the night was Jey Uso at the end.
Well, because the thing with that is that I thought it was a creative ending, and it was so simple, right?
Yes.
It wasn't he super kicked him in the back of the head. It was just I'll give you a little shove. And
it's a little things. The fact that you had Logan Paul eliminate these guys and had so much heat with the crowd.
God, they wanted to kill him.
I don't think that was supposed to happen.
So
I don't think that was supposed to happen. So there's news breaking out that Drew McIntyre got eliminated early on a botch. That wasn't supposed to happen because I believe it was
LA Knight and Logan Paul
yes,
were in
LA
the way.
Knight was trying to have his moves with Logan Paul and it bumped Damian Priest and knocked Drew McIntyre out. I don't think that was supposed. I think Drew McIntyre
was supposed to.
I think he was supposed to be the one to eliminate CM Punk for a second time in a row.
I don't think that was the issue, though.
It was really weird to me.
Nah, I don't think that was it.
I think just that part was because to me, I had a feeling that Jey Uso will win, but it wouldn't be against John Cena. I feel like he would have eliminated Drew McIntyre.
So from what I've seen, it looks like they're trying to set up Drew and Damian Priest, I guess, for Mania, perhaps.
They have to now.
Yeah,
they have to.
Which I think that was the case though, because they had the camera shot right on both of them. After, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I think they're going that way.
The betting odds were 66-1 on Jey Uso to win the Rumble. He was 66-1.
I did not see that.
Do you think that they're wanting to recreate or have the bloodline come back and win the championship over Cody Rhodes? Do you think that's why they had Jey Uso take it?
No,
nothing like that at all.
So now the way I'm looking at it after the Rumble, I look at it pretty differently, and I'm sure if Tony, Chris, and Logan, we all think of this way or we have our own theory, but I feel like Jay's going to face Gunther again. Mm-hmm. We're going to see John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. And then at WrestleMania, we're going to see Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus CM Punk.
I think that's possible.
That sounds, yeah. The only thing with Cena, though, is how does he get there?
I still have one question out there, and that's Randy Orton. Could we see Could we still see Orton come back? Does he go after Owens? Or does he end up him and Cody? So there's still a lot of questions, still a lot of different directions they can go. So I think tonight's going to be a big Raw.
So going back to what you just said, Frankie, Damien says reports saying Drew's pissed that Logan Paul and Knight had the camera on them and not on him getting eliminated.
No, that's got nothing to do with it. Why the hell would he get mad that the camera's not on him when he got eliminated?
Because he wasn't the main focus.
That's got nothing to do with it.
And then something that they showed a part of it on TV, but they didn't show on TV afterwards was people were eating for like 10 minutes after, like 10 to 15 minutes after the show was over. Nobody left. All close to 70,000 people were in there eating.
They might have that. They might have that tonight. They might show that tonight.
McAfee, Cole, and
the other announcer.
Wade Barrett.
They got in the ring with Jey Uso, and they were all eating. Jey Uso's son was in the ring with them.
Yeah, brought his son in.
They did show. They didn't show that for you guys when you rewatched it. They showed it for us after the pay-per-view is done, and they showed the little.
Did they show it? Okay.
Yeah, after.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
The post show. Okay.
Okay.
And then they went to the press conference.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
nobody left for like 10, 15 minutes. Everybody was still
because that's
still
when
eating.
that's when he went to the site. He got interviewed, and he was saying how like he would like to face Gunther again for the title at WrestleMania.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. I haven't watched the post show.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Okay. Well, yeah, that brings some insight. But yeah, that'll do a recap of the Royal Rumble. Nice 4-match show, and that'll do it for that. And
God, I can't wait for WrestleMania, man. We're about to
we got
WrestleMania.
we got the Elimination Chamber first
in a couple years when it's here in Indianapolis.
Yes.
Yep. Still gotta be patient.
Hey, what is WrestleMania? What month does that occur in?
That's going to be April 19th and April 20th.
And is that another Peacock or?
Yeah, all the PLEs are on there. It's all the big shows.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
but you got one more, or I think a couple more pay-per-views in between. We still got to go through Elimination Chamber to Toronto.
Mm-hmm. And is there another one after that one?
I'm not 100% sure.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think so.
Because there's not a pay-per-view technically in February.
We'll probably get like a Saturday night main event.
Could be.
I know NXT's got one February 15th.
Okay, so you got that to kind of scratch the itch, you know.
I'm just waiting for the countdown to SummerSlam, baby. I'm going to SummerSlam. They're coming to MetLife. And give me that countdown. Let's go. You guys got your Royal Rumble moment. I'm waiting for my goddamn SummerSlam moment.
Is that going to be the first? Is that the first 2-night one?
Yeah.
SummerSlam?
Yes, it is.
I'm going to night 2.
We'll cap off our wrestling segment here. Damien asked, who do y'all think will be Jordan Grace's first? Hey, Jay, I want to get your thoughts. I don't know if you saw Jordan Grace, but she was the one who could bench press every single person there probably twice.
No, I didn't get to see that.
Oh.
No, I didn't, man. But I'm telling you, man, I think I saw about three matches. I think is what I saw, and that's about it. By the time I got the stream and everything, yeah, unfortunately,
she was impressive. She was impressive, and when Chad Gable done that German suplex on Otis was impressive too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So Jordan Grace is going to be hard to say who her first feud is because she's going to be in NXT.
You think she's going to be in NXT? I think she's going main roster.
No, she's going right to NXT.
All right, Jay, I'll show you a photo of her at the Rumble. Hold up. So this is what she did at the Rumble here.
Oh, she's strong as hell.
And I mean, Piper is probably what, the second just heaviest female on the roster behind Nia, I would say.
Yeah, I would say so.
And I mean, I don't know how much she weighs. They don't list it, but I mean, it definitely easy.
A real woman. That's a real woman with a real woman body, Jay. We're not messing around with you. This is a real woman. No, she can kick all of her asses too. Yeah, this ain't no Nyla Rose. This is a woman.
Yeah, I like how y'all play around with the old people, man. You know what? Y'all could all burn in hell.
Nah, this is a real woman.
You Tony.
Ask Tony.
He's being serious, Jay.
No.
I know. He when they pranked me with Nyla Rose.
Oh yeah.
I don't like any of y'all.
Yeah, he likes
I love
Tony.
And Gonzo didn't even come to my rescue, man. He's playing right along with it.
Hey.
What an asshole.
I figured if you weren't smart enough to know that hey, you go for it.
I couldn't see it, man. I turned my glasses. Listen, they think for a reason.
So that'll cap off the wrestling segment. We got 2 more here. We're going to go to the gridiron, talk some football. Myles Garrett announced just a little bit earlier today that he has requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns, who, my God, if there's not a more cursed franchise, probably the Bills, but in terms of just pure mediocrity, it's got to be Cleveland. And let's not forget, he has 2 years left on a deal that saw him sign for 5 years and $125 million. So he's still got 2 years left on his contract. If you're Cleveland, do you trade him, Jay? Do you just get rid of him, cut bait, and move on?
Well, if you know you're going to a full rebuild, yeah, I would do that man a solid and go ahead and trade him to a contender. That's what he wants to do. He wants to be traded to a contender. But the GM, Barry, already came out and said that he has no hypothetical reason nor any realistic reason to trade him. So as far as the GM is concerned, he's on the roster and he's going to stay on the roster, you know, and which kind of sucks, right? Because the guy has been there. He's had 6 losing seasons in his tenure. And the guy has really done a lot, Logan, right? I mean,
he's done great.
He's got 102.5 sacks in 8 seasons. That puts him at number 5. He had Jared Allen at number 4, TJ Watt at 3, DeMarcus Ware at 2, and then Reggie White at number 1 with 124. So for what I'm getting at is in 8 seasons, this guy's giving you everything and a bag of chips, and then you won't trade him. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. I mean, let the guy go. If you let him go to a contender, because you know you're going to go through a rebuild. He said he had discussions about it. He said, look, what is your offseason plans? He didn't like their offseason plans. I don't think he likes the quarterback situation there. So, yeah, I say let the man go and trade him, but it doesn't look like that's what they're planning on doing, Logan.
No, it doesn't look like it, at least not for the moment at least. But, I mean, God, if you're Cleveland, I don't see the reason to keep him, like Jay said. I mean, Deshaun Watson's not going to play this year. That's already been a factor. So you're starting quarterbacks out for the year. I mean, they have a couple of good pieces, but I mean, this isn't a playoff team. This isn't a Super Bowl winning team, right?
Right.
And that's what Miles said he wants. He wants to win. He wants to go to the Super Bowl. He wants a contender.
I understand what you guys are saying, and I necessarily don't disagree. But I mean, unless they can get a lot for him, why trade him? I mean, now that he says he wants to be traded. Now teams know that, and they're not going to offer as much. If he would have went to them and said, "Hey, I'd like to be traded," and Cleveland said, "Okay," don't go out and announce it.
You know what? If he only had, like, let's say 1 year left on his contract, you're probably right. If you have 1 year, you know what? We'll wait till it goes to free agency, and then we'll make our move there. We're not going to give up assets if he only has a year left. But this guy obviously has still some length on his contract, and Myles Garrett, like I say, is 5th in sacks. Who wouldn't trade for him? There's a lot of contenders out there that are looking for a defensive end rusher that can get to the quarterback. And I got to imagine maybe a team like Buffalo for sure, right? On their defense, where they're kind of close, but not all the way there, especially on defense. I can imagine them taking a trade and taking
I would say the Bears I think the Bears would be interested.
Absolutely. The Bears, it's another team. But he wants to be a contender, and I don't think the Bears are quite there.
If I'm Cleveland, I wouldn't trade him.
Right.
And the reason I say that, they trade him, they're going to take a big dead cap hit as well. So just trading the guy, well, I should do this guy a solid because he plays hard, but let's kill our team with the 40 million cap hit for the next 2 seasons.
Yeah, I understand that.
That don't make sense. That's not smart business. No. You know what I mean? So I don't think that's why I wouldn't trade him. Plus, we got to quit setting this precedent that just because a player plays hard and tries hard that it's on the team to make sure he wins the Super Bowl.
I mean, that guy's
it's not Cleveland's responsibility to make sure Myles Garrett goes somewhere and gets a Super Bowl. Their responsibility is try to win a Super Bowl in Cleveland. And if you have who you think, wait a minute, if you have who you think is who a lot of people think it might be the best defensive player in the league, he's right up there as 1 or 2 in a lot of people's eyes. There's no way I'm trading him for unless I'm getting. They're going to give me 4 or 5 number 1 picks to get Myles Garrett from me. You know what I mean?
Right. No,
he's considered top 3 player in the league.
Right. No, but based on what you're saying, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Cleveland has the number 2 pick in this year's draft. So if you want to keep your star, right, Myles Garrett is your guy, and that's who you want to keep. To keep him happy, who would you draft? You got to imagine they got to go at quarterback, right? Unless they believe that Winston is really their guy. And if so, who they bring in?
The problem is there's not a quarterback there at the number 2 position that's really going to make a big difference right now, Jay. I don't think.
I agree, but I'm saying like to appease him to say, hey, look, we're going to draft a quarterback. We're going to solidify that spot. We're going to draft a Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. Well, it won't be Shedeur Sanders because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Deion Sanders, quote unquote, said that my son is not going to play for your team. You're one of the teams that we're not. So
I'd either take who I thought was the best available, or I would trade back. I wouldn't be worried about making Myles Garrett happy. Because here's the thing: he's under contract, so he's going to play next year. Or if he don't, he's going to sit out and he's going to lose all kinds of. He's going to be the one losing all that money.
Yeah, that dude's
he's not going to sit out.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Because it's not like the NFL is a little different than the NBA. They don't have some of the power the NBA players have.
But you got to imagine, though, Chris, and put yourself in his position, right? If you're Myles Garrett and you're still in the prime of your career, do you really want to go with a team that is really undecided at the key spots? Because you got to imagine how many more years is he going to waste? Because he said, look, he came out and said, I don't care about Canton. I care about winning a Super Bowl. That's what I want. I want an opportunity to have a legitimate shot at winning the Super Bowl. So if you're in his position, then that's your mindset. Could you imagine how pissed off? I would be pissed off too. If I wanted to win a Super Bowl, I mean, I'd be like, bro, come on. I get
where he's at. I understand. Yeah. I understand that you want to get on a team where you feel like you have a chance to win, but that's not the Browns' obligation to do that for you. You signed a 5-year deal with them 5 years ago. So now you're basically stuck. It's stuck unless they will trade you. But if they won't, you're stuck until that contract's up. Then you'll have your chance.
He signed a second deal.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you signed a second.
I guess where I'm coming from on that. Let me be more clear. I guess where I'm coming in from that is not so much what the Browns owe him or don't owe him. I'm just saying from his perspective, I can understand why he would want.
I understand why he would want to be traded.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I understand why he wants to be traded too. I understand all that. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying he's wrong for wanting to be traded. I just don't see Cleveland doing it because it's not smart if you're not.
And they've already made enough bad moves.
They've already fucked up with Deshaun Watson.
No, I understand because you do have to keep your fan base. They got to think about fan base too, and if they do that, that's going to probably further submit to Cleveland fans. Hey, we're not really serious trying to compete. Maybe we are going to go to a rebuild because I really do believe if they was to trade Myles Garrett, that would signify to me that they really are in a rebuild mode. If they keep Myles Garrett, then that means that I believe that they really have a chance at being competitive, and I think that's why they would want to keep Myles Garrett, right? So I think Cleveland is still saying to us through Myles Garrett and not wanting to offer or not want to grant him his trade request is that they still believe that they have a legit shot at being a Super Bowl contender. I don't think that's possible. What do you guys think? Do you think that Cleveland still has a legit shot at being a Super Bowl contender?
A Super Bowl contender? No.
Right.
Not this year. 2 or 3 years down the road, you never know. But then again, who thought Washington would be a playoff team this year?
Right.
So I mean, you can't do anything
Cleveland as a quarterback. They got that Jaden Daniels. That guy's special, man. He really is.
They had Cleveland had stable coaches. They ain't had. It's been a shit show.
I agree. Let me ask you that. Do you think Stefanski is really the guy to lead Cleveland? Do you believe in that, or do you think that they need a regime change at the coaching level?
I don't really think they need a coaching change as much as I think it's more been the GM, or maybe not even the GM, the owners and the president getting in the way with like doing the Deshaun Watson thing.
Yeah, that was a big
I don't think that was Stefanski's decision.
And I don't think they can afford nothing. They talk about the cap hit.
You know what I mean? So,
with the cap hit, the money that they're losing with Deshaun Watson, I don't think they can afford to take another cap hit.
Yeah, and I know I don't think so either because that guy's contract is fully guaranteed, so they got to pay that guy.
They're really in a tough position, and I agree with what you're saying about Garrett One. I understand that. I just don't see how it helps Cleveland really to trade him unless there's somebody just gives them a boatload. Man, it's going to have to be a boatload.
Oh no, trust me, I fully 100% agree with that. I mean, that's the only reason I think that he would entertain a trade is if he was in rebuild mode because it wouldn't make sense if you're in rebuild. You want to go to rebuild. Then it would make sense to put him on the trade block, just not necessarily to trade him, only to trade him if the conditions are met, which I agree with you, Tony. It would have to be a boatload. It would have to be at least 2 number ones or something of that nature, or a really good player and a number 1 pick for me to move off of Myles Garrett. And I don't think that's going to happen. I agree with that.
Yeah, my thoughts. I mean, if you're Cleveland, I don't know what you do, to be honest. This franchise just can't get a win. I mean, damn.
Every decision they made has been wrong.
I mean, he's been a great defensive player for them. Like, he has been obviously Pro Bowler. He's had a lot of great success with them. And it just hurts if you're a Browns fan because you got Deshaun Watson a couple of years ago. You think, all right, we got our next quarterback of the future. And, things have not turned out well, we'll say. And now your star on defense, right? Your top player said he wants out. He wants to go to a winner, which, God, that's just a knife to the chest. So we'll see what happens. I think I think they'll hold on to him maybe for a little bit, but then eventually, give up something for him maybe during midseason if they do. But I wouldn't be surprised if he moves earlier than that. So we'll see. We'll see.
Let me ask one more question, if I may, just real quick. This kind of goes more of what Tony was saying. Tony, I know that and by the way, I fully agree with you that Shedeur and Cam Ward are not necessarily your franchise guys, right? They're not going to move your needle. So I kind of agree with kind of like they're in limbo with that, right? So I mean, because I don't think either one of those 2 guys are better than what they already have in Winston. I think Winston is, in my mind, is kind of comparable to what's out there in the draft. So Yeah, I just wanted to say that. I think you're right about that. I don't think that there's anything out there that's going to be better than what they have. And I think what they have is not all that great anyway. So I kind of think Cleveland is still in a little bit of purgatory when it comes trying to find their next signal caller. So I don't really expect a whole lot out of Cleveland next year. I really just don't.
Yeah. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. All right, we'll talk some entertainment news and get on out of here, guys. The Grammys were last night. Big music event, obviously. Any highlights from that? Do you guys see any winners, or do you guys care to know any winners from last night's shows?
I just got seen a clip of Beyonce winning. That's the only thing I've seen.
Yeah, she won the best album of the year with her album Cowboy Carter. She beat out the likes of Taylor Swift, Chappell Roan, Billie Eilish, Jacob Collier, Charlie XCX, Sabrina Carpenter, and Andre 3000 to win the award. So she won album of the year.
I say one thing about Beyonce.
Go right ahead.
I feel like I can speak on this because she's from Houston. She's from my hometown, right?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Beyonce. You know, I mean, you got a great voice. You had a great thing going on with Destiny's Child. I think you kind of did a little bit on your solo album. But let's get one thing understood. You may be from Texas, but take the damn cowboy hat off. You know about as much about country western as Gonzo knows about country western. It's going to be a whole hell of a lot. So stop trying to be country. You're not country. I know, Gonzo. I just look, okay. If it makes you feel better, you know about as much about country music as Jay McLovin knows about country music, and Jay don't know shit about country music. So just stop pretending. Go back to what you know best, and what has gotten you to where your fame is, which is pop, R&B, things of that nature. But stay away from the country. That's just not your.
Wait, apparently it worked. She won album of the year though with it.
Country. Look, even her cowboy hat looks like it was bought on Amazon. Get that crap off your head.
Hey, there was a lot of other interesting wardrobe decisions last night. That's the least of them. I can tell you that much.
Country my ass.
Jesus.
Oh,
You'll never guess who won Best Rock Performance this year, by the way.
I didn't get to watch it last night, though, by the way. So
no, you're good.
About Beyonce winning, but who won the rock album?
Well, I'll get to it in a minute. The Best Rock Performance of the year came with the Beatles, and there's Now and Then. How the hell the Beatles win? They just
the Beatles won.
The Beatles won. They won Best Rock Performance. They beat it, and if I was these bands, I'd be pissed.
Who are they talking? Last time I checked, George is dead.
Yep.
John is dead.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney's out there doing his solo, whatever he does. Ringo, I don't even know where Ringo's at. So
how the hell did the Beatles?
I have no idea.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay,
that was from left field. I don't know how that happened.
Who else was in the category?
Hold on. So this is how it is. It's an AI restored song. I'm assuming. So what it is, it looks like they found this song that they recorded whenever it was, and they used AI to bring it back to life, I guess, and it just won a Grammy. So if I'm these other bands, I'm pissed.
Well, that tells you how the music industry is right now.
This right here is why I don't watch the Grammys. Beyonce won a country award, and the Beatles just won Best Rock Performance.
Hold on.
What the hell?
Here's some of the bands that they beat. Not just
hold on,
the bands.
before you go, I got to address this real quick. First of all, Frankie said, Jay trying to get y'all. No, I'm not trying to get you canceled. I'm just speaking the truth. Frankie said, you don't know why, because she's black. No, it ain't about her being black. I know there's a lot of black country artists, but my thing is this. If you got to ask Willie Nelson to come on your album to give you a little bit of credit, you already know that you out the window. Let's continue.
Okay, Jay, let me ask you this. So, how you feel about Jelly Roll being country now?
He probably don't know who Jelly Roll is.
I've heard a little bit of Jelly Roll's country music. I like Jelly Roll as a singer. I don't know that I really I don't really know how I classify him as country. But then again,
that's what they're classifying him as now, as country. And he's doing the same thing, having all these features on his album.
Yeah, I don't classify Jelly Roll as country. And if you want to say that, I'll make the same argument for Jelly Roll as I do for Beyonce, is that neither one of them, in my opinion, are really country.
And looking at another like that. And I just want to bring this to the fact, too, because the fact that she did this, I think, in the last year, Dolly Parton, we saw, went into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. At that time, she said, I haven't released an album for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't feel like I need to be here. So she did. She released like a 25, 30 song cover, just a bunch of, she had a couple of original songs there too, to try to justify.
She ain't rock, she's country. I'm sorry.
Right. No, but she did, but I'm just saying she did that because to her, it justified her being in the Hall of Fame a little bit more.
I
than
think they need
having
to
not
change
done
the
anything,
name
which
of
I
the
can
Rock and Roll
respect.
Hall of
Yeah,
Fame
'cause
to the Music Hall of
I
Fame.
mean, NWA
No,
is
exactly.
NWA is in the
yeah.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
Yeah,
Which I don't
get
understand
the Rock
that.
and Roll Hall of Fame because I don't
Yeah,
even like the
Eminem.
Rock and Roll Hall because of what they're doing. I agree with you.
So
You know,
Tony, back to the question of who the hell the Beatles beat for best rock performance.
See if I know any of them.
Saint Vincent,
Nope.
Pearl Jam,
Know them.
Idols,
Nope.
Green Day,
Yep.
and the Black Keys.
Oh damn.
So for best,
come
we
on,
got best
man.
metal performance.
Oh,
That was won by Gojira, Marina Viotti, and Victor De La Mont. Oh, this was the at the Olympics. They had that line performance. That's what it was.
That was
So they won that. They beat out the bands of Spirit Box, Metallica, Knocked Loose, and Judas Priest.
Judas Priest. They're still around.
Yeah, no, Judas is now he uses the cane. He can barely walk, but he's still
So
around.
So we got best rock album. This is won by the Rolling Stones with their album Hackney Diamonds. They beat out just some other bands here: Jack White, Pearl Jam, Idols, Green Day, Fontaines DC, and the Black Crowes.
Damn. That's my thing. Look, all these bands you're listing, if this is who we're putting in these categories, this is some BS. Because there's a lot of better albums than what these old guys are putting out. And I didn't even listen to hardly any of it, but I know for a fact. Pearl Jam,
I don't listen to any of it.
He's a
You haven't listened to wait a minute, Jay. You haven't listened to any of the new Rolling Stones album?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, and you have or you haven't?
No,
I'm being serious.
Okay.
You don't like the Stones?
I have not. Listen, I don't look. Number one, Mick Jagger is old. Number two,
He just had a kid like a year ago.
Who Anthony
Richard Davis.
So old, he can barely even play his guitar. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I understand that, but are you a fan? Are you a fan of the Rolling Stones, though?
Yes, I am a fan of the Rolling Stones. Hold on, watch this. I don't know if you can see this.
Oh, hold
No,
on.
I'm not a fan.
No, I was just
I'm a
asking.
fan.
So he was just asking.
You just don't want to hear. You just don't want to hear their new music. I get what you're saying.
No, it's not even about that. It's not about me wanting to hear it. They don't. They had their time. Rolling Stones had their time. They are so out of their time. It's not even fun. Unless your name is Johnny Cash redoing "Hurt," where Trent Reznor comes out and says, "You know what? This is no longer a Nine Inch Nails song. This is now a Johnny Cash song." He is probably him. And I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna throw you for a loop now. Selena Gomez is the only. Selena, you know Selena. The star, right? Selena. Yes. The one that went from Tejano or I should say went from regular music to Tejano back, only because she learned the Spanish language. She didn't speak a lick of Spanish, but she specifically learned Spanish just to go back to her roots and play in Mexico, and she won the entire crowd over. Those are the only ones I know that really did a full transfer from one type of music to another type of music. The
problem with music now that they really don't sell albums. I mean, it's downloads.
It's all streams.
Yep.
And speaking of streams, the biggest winner of the night was Kendrick Lamar. He took home 5 Grammys. Wow. Most of them being from his song "Not Like Us," which he is going to perform at the Super Bowl. So he just keeps winning and winning and winning.
Does anybody on this show know what that song is?
I do. I know exactly what that song is.
I've never heard it.
So it's a diss track towards Drake, and there is a lot of shots in it, we'll say, and it gets the crowd going, and they're going to be singing it loud and proud at the Super Bowl.
I've never heard it.
So Tony, what we'll do is we'll get you set up. We'll do a reaction to you. Just have your headphones in. We'll have you react to the song on stream or something, and we'll
I don't think I've ever heard it. I might have heard it and not realize who it was, but
I did hear some of Eminem's new album. I liked it, but
I have not. You know what? That's another thing. I have not heard. I heard he had a new album out. I have not heard Eminem's new stuff. Is it?
I haven't listened to any of it yet.
It wasn't bad. Pretty good.
And Eminem was featured in. He had 4 nominations, but he lost in Best Rap Performance to Kendrick Lamar.
Jay?
He lost in Best Rap Album to Doechii. He lost that one.
Yeah, Jay. What I've been stuck on here lately is Foo Fighters. I've been listening to a lot of Foo Fighters.
Yeah, they still do. Are they still? Dave Grohl's taking a break though, isn't he? Yeah, he's got some personal stuff.
I find it. Yeah, there's you can't.
Hold on.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got Foo Fighters. Yeah, I got that one. I like Foo Fighters. I like Dave Grohl. I've liked Dave Grohl since the very beginning because when he made his first album after he left Nirvana, right? A lot of people said, well, you know what? He's just riding Nirvana's coattails. He didn't do that. He went back to his house. He played every single instrument on that first album. And
that first Foo Fighters album was all him.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of mad respect for Dave Grohl, and he really has transcended a lot. And anybody that knows Dave Grohl knows how much of an aficionado of music Dave Grohl is, especially with the Sound City music console that all the great bands, all the way back to the Doors, Alice in Chains, Rolling Stones, Metallica, all the ones that did off that one studio, at Sound City, he has that board in his, and he's still making music on that same board in his personal 666 studio, excuse me, 606 studios.
Yeah, I'm a big.
666 was different.
Yeah,
I don't mean 666. I meant 606.
I'm a big Dave Grohl fan. I always have been. But you're right. A lot of people don't realize that he done that whole first Foo Fighters album by himself.
Yeah.
And the only reason he went and got a band was so he could tour.
Yeah.
To be able to make more money touring. If he wasn't going to tour, he could have kept doing what he was doing.
No, yeah,
that's
true.
Everybody says if you ever watch after unfortunately rest in peace Taylor Hawkins passed away, he brought Taylor's son and in a concert and had Taylor's son playing the drums on a Foo Fighters song. I mean, and he kicked it.
He's done it 2 or 3 songs, and that dude looks just like Taylor up there drumming.
Oh, yeah. And if you don't know about his daughter, Violet Blue, Violet can sing. Like Violet, she's falling right up in her dad's footsteps. But anyway.
Hey, Glenn said, we'll end it here. Glenn said he's still recovering from the rumble. He's got the Gatorade flowing. He's got the IV drip.
I agree. I woke up, I'm still hurting.
Yep. That's it. Just do some DDP yoga and you'll be good. You'll tough it out. Well, hey, that's been our show today, guys. We'll wrap it up here.
One more thing. I got a question for you, Logan.
Oh, go ahead.
Everybody, you got to ask questions, but I got to ask you a question. I'm going to go back to sports. I got one last question I want to ask you.
Yes.
How do you feel about Chip Kelly on your team, hired by Tom Brady under Pete Carroll, being the highest paid offensive coordinator, actually highest paid coordinator in general at $6 million? How do you feel about Chip Kelly? Now, Chip Kelly was great. 35.7 points he averaged
with OSU
for Ohio State, and I think 429 yards he was averaging on his offense. How do you feel about that? How does that now solidify the rebuild, at least on the coaching staff of the Raiders? Are they going in the right direction, do you feel?
Coaching staff, I definitely feel that Kelly's a way better coordinator than he is a head coach. We know whenever he came into the league over 10 years ago, he was known as innovative, and he had a bunch of different looks. But that's all nice, but the Raiders still don't have a quarterback at the moment, at least not a franchise one. You're not bringing in a brand new offensive coordinator for two guys who are already there that aren't superstars.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
Hey,
so
I have a question though. Do you think maybe that they're bringing him in for that $6 million because Pete Carroll is older? Do you think maybe they're thinking that he might be Carroll's replacement?
I don't feel super confident in that because I don't know how long I know it's $6 million, but I don't know how many years it's for. For Kelly.
Because Kelly ain't no young.
Kelly ain't old, or he's not young, but he's not 73 or whatever like Carroll is. No,
he's like in his 60s though, at least.
I would say. Let me look.
I think he's in his early to mid 60s.
He's 61.
I think it's 61. I think it's a great hire as offensive.
I thought it was good. I think it's a good move because the Raiders, they got him as the new OC. They brought in Carroll, who's a respected head coach. They brought back their defensive coordinator, who, like I said, other than some injuries last year, looked solid at times. So you keep that core. You bring in some new guys. You hopefully draft a good quarterback here in the draft, or pick up some free agents once that gets going. Because they said they are going to spend money. That They said they're spending money on coaching, which is why they just gave Kelly all that money. They spent money on Pete Carroll because you have to give them money to bring them over to a crappy team. So they're going to spend big in free agency. Last year they signed Wilkins right from Miami. They signed him to a big deal. He got hurt, but he's still on a big contract. Matt Crosby is due for, he's getting his money. So that's just on the defense. On the offense, you have Brock Bowers, who thankfully was a rookie last year, so you still get him for a little bit of amount of time before you have to pay him already. but you have to get some more weapons on your offense. You don't have a quarterback. You don't really have you have very little running game. They had one of the worst running offenses in the league last year after you gave up Josh Jacobs. And they don't have a true number one receiver because Bowers is more of a tight end as opposed to a wide receiver, right? You don't have a stud out there yet. So they do have some pieces. They do have some holes in this team, obviously. We saw how rough they were last year. But I think this offseason, they look good. They built on the coaching staff, at least for now. And once, obviously, the season's over, then I'm excited to see what they're going to do with the player-wise, with quarterbacks, with the rest of their team, and how they fill that out. Because they've got money to spend. And if it's any indication of how they've done with the coaching staff, then they're going to spend big in free agency as well.
So I think they might. I think they might go after try to get a veteran quarterback as a gap fill.
I don't think that's a bad option.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe don't. I don't think they'll do it with they're not going to do it with their first draft pick because it's a real high pick. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't draft Will Howard out of Ohio State.
I think so too.
As a later round pick, just to
take him maybe in the second round, get you a veteran quarterback to be like the gap fill, because look at the success Howard had or Chip Kelly had with Will Howard.
Frankie said
I can see them maybe going that direction, something like that.
That's not a bad. I don't think that's a bad case at all. I think that could work out as well. But they have options to play with, right? This isn't just like, oh, we're doom and gloom. They have a couple of choices they can go with, which makes me optimistic. So Damien says something here. What's your thoughts on the scandal of Ben Johnson's agent lying about the Raiders offering him a 6-year, $66 million contract? I have not heard of that.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's true.
I have to research that one a little bit. That might be a topic for tomorrow's show if we can find some information on that.
Yeah, we can look that up, but I've not heard anything about that. Damien, if you have anything about that, please send it to us and we can look forward into it. But I personally haven't seen anything about that, so that's news to me. So we'll see if that's legit. We'll see if Damien's sending us fake links or fake info. We'll do our research, talk about it tomorrow, and we'll discuss it here on the show. But we'll wrap things up here, guys. Appreciate you coming on. Oh, go ahead.
One thing real quick before we get out of here. Join us tonight 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll have a big Gonzo Wrestling Room show. We'll be talking Royal Rumble. We'll be talking the WCWO shows we was at over the weekend. I know Big Glenn's going to come on with us. He was also at the Rumble. And then
nice.
Warren Misery will be on with us as always.
He was at the Rumble.
He was also at the Rumble. And then, of course, Marcus Finer will be on with us as always. He wasn't at the Rumble, but he was also with us Friday at both shows. Yep. And Warren was at one of the shows Friday as well. So
okay.
So we have a lot to talk about tonight. Right around 6:30. Join us for that.
Yeah, and you know that's going to be a good show. Of course, I know y'all have a lot to talk about, and you can talk about everything that happened after y'all's busy weekend, which I'm sure y'all are still waiting to recover from that. And Jay, I know you got something you want to talk about.
No. I just want to make sure we promo the game, like what Frankie was talking about.
Oh, of course. And Frankie, he said, all right, we gotta let the cat out the bag. And yes, so we are going to be doing some gaming streams on the channel. We're not going to formally announce anything yet. We're going to have, of course, a nice video or a photo to officially announce it. But just so you know, we are going to be doing some live game streaming on the channel, talking sports with Madden, talking some MLB The Show, it's Call of Duty, just kind of more variety, and just to have another just branch for us to go out there and do something new. So that is going to be coming to the channel here really soon. Work on getting everything hammered down, and should be coming this week. So excited for that. That's going to be fun. But anyways, we will wrap things up today and get ready for tomorrow's show. Of course, it's going to be live 2:00 Eastern on our February the 4th edition with this one. So once again, for everyone here today, for Frankie for coming in for a while, talking some with us, of course, Jay as well, talking everything and enjoying the Rumble and the music scene, not so much. And of course, Tony and Chris Gonzalez, whose eardrums are still blown out after this weekend. We thank y'all for coming on the show. But I've been your host and producer, Logan Landers. Guys, enjoy your weekends. Well, not weekends. I'm wishing it was the weekend. It's a Monday.
It's the beginning of the week.
I know. I'm looking forward to the weekend. But enjoy the rest of your Monday, and we'll see you again on Tuesday for the